Hello guys, this is your friend and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is what if Naruto was ostracized after saving Sasuke and returned as Konoha's Black Wolf Anbu, desired by Kurenai, Anko, Yugao, Hinata, Ino and Temari. Part 1. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. It was a beautiful afternoon back in the hidden village of Konoha. The sun was starting to disappear when a certain blonde shun could be seen on the horizon carrying what appeared to be a bloodied black-haired human being after one of the worst fights. Both had in years. Naruto and Sasuke were locked in a warlike battle and Naruto had to resort to his ranked Enjutsu, later labeled as in Kinjutsu by the Gotem Hokage because of the danger towards the user's arm. And almost killed Sasuke if it wasn't for the cursed seal inside his body. Kakashi and Sakura were walking near the gate talking about Sakura's improve at medical jutsu when they stared wide-eyed at the scene in front of them. Naruto appeared in front of the west gate carrying none other than the Uchiha Sasuke as they ran towards him with at first happy faces seeing their teammates coming back home. Sakura: Kakashi-sensei, I made it, I brought Sasuke back just like I promised I would, smiled Nar, panting a little bit from almost chakra exhaustion. I can see that, Nar, you did it, but how did you manage to beat him? Asked Kakashi, though he was analyzing Sasuke less than greater than S exterior for any visible wounds that would answer the question. He didn't need to use his sharing to notice some slash and deep cuts on Sasuke's body, showing the usage of Fuden level chakra. Fuden Renshuriken, it was my only hope. Kakashi-sensei, Sasuke is a true genius. He managed to create a Raiden jutsu where he channels the energy of a lightning falling from the sky and contains it with his bare hands. It was a matter of life and death. I had to use that technique, explained Naruto with vigor. Since he knew it was a kyutsu he just used, he was able to contain the energy of a lightning on his hands. Quite impressive. It seems similar to my Reikiri, but from Naruto described it's even stronger, wondered Kakashi as he was trying to improve the Reikiri for quite a while now, and it seemed that the Uchiha genius surpassed him with Raiden jutsu. While Kakashi and Naruto were talking about the battle they had, Sakura was examining the Yanguchiya and it looked like she was astonished at the damage of his internal organs and bones. It seemed like Sasuke was cut in multiple places and traces of food and chakra could be sensed near him, as if one deadly technique did this to him. Sakura now remembered about a jutsu that Naruto was able to add food and chakra to the Rinnegan, making it an S-ranked Enjutsu declared Kinjutsu by Tsunade because of the fact that damaged the opponent to a cellular level as well as almost dissipated Naruto's arm in the process. If it weren't for the Kyuubi's power, Narbaka, what did you do to him? His organs and bones are badly damaged. It's less than greater than a miracle he's still alive. Tell me, what did you do to him? Demanded Sakura for Nar to tell her just so that she could deliver a chakra-infused punch at his face for dare hurting Sasuke. And like that, I used the same technique that I used at the Akatsuki member Kakusu called Fuden Renshuriken, explained Naruto with strangely little concern towards the pink-haired teammate since he no longer had anything to do with her except for the fact that she was her teammate. Were you trying to kill him? Nar, that technique delacerated Kuzu. From what I heard, why would you resort to something like that unless you wanted to kill him right now? She was screaming instead of just opening her mouth as well as channeling chakra to her fist so as to just wait for the answer and punch him square in the face. The way I see it, he's alive, and the fact that he would have killed me with his Raiden technique had I not used mine pretty much justifies my choice of action, said Naruto as he got up and now was in a relaxed position while his chakra was being refilled. However, Sakura was far from understanding her teammate's explanation as her emotions were getting hard to control. The amount of damage to Sasuke's body just set her on edge and she just couldn't believe Naruto would do this much level of damage to their once teammate. You almost killed him with that technique, Nar. It's a miracle that his body was able to withstand the damage, observed Sakura while indirectly accusing Nar on going overboard and tried to kill Sasuke by using the disguise of trying to save him. However, Nar took that hint and became immediately angry. He is alive, god damn it, what else do you want from me? Sakura, he used the 2-level curse seal, used a Raiden jutsu that if it hit me I would be toasted, and now here you are taking his side like I was the bad guy of the whole situation. In case you don't No, Sasaki already tried to kill me once, this would be his second attempt had I didn't use my technique, said Nar, trying to reason with the damn banshee. You did try to kill him, curse you Naruto, I'll tell Sama about this, you'll be out of shinobi duty. You used a kyutsu on a fellow shinobi of the leaf. Go ahead Sakura, tell her what I did. Tell her that I brought back a nuke nin and not anyone Konoha. Precious Uchiha, and tell her that you threatened to leave shinobi by channeling chakra through your fist in order to punch me. Sakura, Sasaki is no leaf shinobi, he made that clear when he left, but if you wanted your precious so much, do what you feel like. I'm heading home, I need a shower, said Naruto as he vanished, leaving Kakashi and Sakura carrying a hurt Sasuke towards the Hogue's office. By this time, every villager knew that the demon almost killed the last Uchiha and they were demanding his head on a platter. After a while, two Chunins told Sakura, Naruto and Kakashi that the Hokage needed to talk to them regarding Naruto's S-rank mission in order to capture Sasaki and if not possible kill him. At Tsunade's office. In the office there was Tsunade next to Sakura and Shizune, asking Naruto to give them the mission report of his mission. Naruto described the mission more specifically about how he and Sasaki were fighting equally, both using elemental enjutsu to the extreme. When Sasaki transformed to the Cursed Seal level 2 and started rushing at Naruto with intent to kill, after Nar managed to kick Sasaki on the stomach, Sasaki went flying with chakra channeled through his feet. Last, Nar told that Sasaki used an ultimate Raiden jutsu that focused on an actual lightning and would throw at him, so Nar used his food and recent and won the battle, bringing him back. Tsunade-sama, Nar should be punished because he tried to kill a fellow Konoha shinobi. He even used a kyutsu against a fellow shinobi. There is no excuses for such an act, said Sakura, earning deadly stares from Naruto, who by now was cursing himself for all those times in the past when he thought he had a crush on her. Sakura, for all I know Sasaki is a missing nin because he ran off Konoha, leaving Nar no penalty regarding possible murder intent towards the Uchiha traitor. But Nar, I see that your recent doesn't hurt your arm anymore, so since you molded the technique with better control, I'll take the recent from the kyutsu scroll, smiled Tsunade, waving Sakura's attempts for her master to punish the blonde for what he did to her. Sasuke-kun, yes, since my chakra control is better I could do the technique without damaging my arm. However, my arm, while isn't badly injured, it suffered little but present pain. I need to have better chakra control for the technique to work without any danger on my body. Nade-sama began to talk Sakura, but was interrupted from Naruto, who decided that a little facts had to be said to the pink banshee. Sakura, at first I thought you were a nice person, but after this I realized that you're just a stupid fan girl, that even though Sasaki dumped you several times you still protect him. I expected a lot better coming from you, but I guess I was wrong. Sama, if you don't need anything, can I get some rest? I need a shower. You're dismissed. Nar, good job, said Tsunade, smiling from the outside and wondering about the ba-chan that Naruto used to call her, which apparently got to her nerves, but now that he didn't say it, she felt like she wanted him to call him ba-chan, well, at least not call her Hokage-sama. When Naruto vanished from sight, Kakashi looked at Sakura with such pity and also Shanshin to meet Naruto. With Naruto. Nar was walking through the village thinking about the fight as well as the look of hatred that the villagers and surprisingly some shinobi who worship the Uchiha bloodline, well, they already had that look towards him because of his burden, but such look was filled with hate now, apart from the apathy look from before when people didn't even consider his existence. As one of them, after some pace walking, Naruto's eyes caught a glimpse of sight which long ago managed to get to his heart like no one had done before. They were bright red eyes which looked like two roses sparkling with beauty. The eyes belonged to none other than the genjutsu mistress of Konoha, Yikar, and for a minute there Naruto just stared at her like he saw an angel in front of him. Such eyes managed to pierce through his soul, and he instantly forgot every piece of negative emotions about Sasaki and Sakura's bickering. For a moment he wished he could look at them forever and just dies happily. Meanwhile, Kakashi had arrived alongside him and witnessed that Nar was checking Kurana with some intent look on his face. Why are you looking at her? Nar, Kakashi-sensei, I didn't notice you there. Well, I was just remembering something from my training with Jiraiya-sensei, that's all. I see. Well, don't look too much at her. Asuma might be jealous. Why would he be jealous of this? Haven't less than greater than you know they are together. Yeah, since you left to retrieve Sasaki, Asuma asked her out one time and she agreed to it. Personally I don't see why she agreed to it, but what can I do anyway, said Kakashi, in order to study Naruto's behavior and run damage control if needed be. He knew that Naruto had a thing with the Genjutsu mistress one time from what he heard from Jiraiya. Oh okay then, well Kakashi-sensei, I'm heading home, see ya, said Naruto, trying to hide his emotions upon seeing that the angel that he saw was with another guy, a Junin named Serbia. See ya, Nar, said Kakashi as he stared at Naruto's back. From quite some time he remembered Jiraiya telling him about Naruto's encounter with Kurenai. Kakashi felt pity on the boy. Kurenai was known as the Ice Queen of Konoha for a good reason. At Naruto's apartment. When Nar arrived at his apartment he immediately went to the bathroom and took a nice warm shower. As he was letting the hot water clean any battle signs on his body, he was thinking of what Kakashi told him about Kurana and Asuma. Since no one was looking, he didn't need to hide his emotions anymore and just did what every man in his position did when was cheated. He cried, he sobbed, his angel wasn't his anymore. After shower he went straight to bed thinking about Kurenai's decision in being with another person. On the next day Nar woke up and started making breakfast, when suddenly he heard a knock on the door. When he opened the door, an Anbu was there with a note for him to attend Tsunade less than greater than S office. Right away Nar changed his clothes and quickly put his Chunin Vesta in this fic. Naruto became Chun at the age of 14 when he was at Kumo training food and jutsus. They held a little tournament and Naruto won, being nominated to Chunin by Kumo, who sent a letter to Tsunade asking to promote Naruto as a Chuninade. After receiving the letter from Kumo and picked Naruto's results at the last Chunin exam, and she noticed that Nar managed to beat Hyuga Neji and prevented Shukaku from destroying Konoha, so she upgraded him to Chunin, sending a slug summon to find Naruto and give the news with his Chunin best, jumping through rooftops to arrive at Tsunade's office. Nar spotted Kakashi there as well and assumed that he was going to a mission with Kakashi-sensei. Naro, enter. I have a matter of extreme importance that involved your last mission. You see, the council had the same thought as Sakura and they're accusing you of trying to kill the Uchiha bastard. Here is a petition to dismiss you from active shinobi duty from trying to harm a shinobi of the Leaf H. Figured just because the Uchihas were a respected clan, they have these privileges, so what will be your decision? Asama asked Nar, not showing any signs of anger or any negative emotions, much to the dismay and surprise of the blonde Hokage, who was expecting a huge scream of anger coming out of Nar, maybe even hearing some shouts along the way, but none came. In my opinion, Sasaki is considered a missing nin because of his treason to Konoha. Therefore, if any or Konoha Junin were to encounter him, they would try and kill him on the spot. Since you are a Konoha shinobi, you were acting with all powers to do just that, so you are in nowhere guilty for your actions towards the Uchiha traitor. Leave it to me, Nar, I'll handle the council. Tsunade-sama, I have a request to ask of you, asked Nar as he thought about it. After getting out of the shower last night, he needed something to take him away from all the pain. First his fight against Sasaki, then Sakura protecting the Uchiha over him. Lastly, but way more painful, was seeing Kurana, the love of his life, with another man. He needed to get away and he knew what he had to do. What is it? Asked Tsunade, though she was suspicious of Naruto's body reactions, or rather lack of one. If possible, I would like to join as a member of the Anbu, said Naru, earning looks from the Hokage and Kakashi. Now both Kakashi and Tsunade were astonished, to say the least. They did not expect this coming from Nar. The blonde was always the cheerful being with the happy smile on his face, but now what they saw was nothing but a fragment of that being. Once Tsunade asked of the reason why he wanted to be a part of Anbu, he simply stated that he needed to get away from all the pain he suffered yesterday and to forget a certain someone. Kakashi had a hint of who that person would be and wasn't surprised to see that his ex-student was suffering. Nar, is that what you want? I'll grant your wish, just give me what mask would you be willing to wear to hide your identity? Black Wolf. Why black? Except from you, Kakashi-sensei, Oruka-sensei, Jiraiya and Tsunade-sama, I'm all alone in this world. The Black Wolf is a sign of my personality. Wolves usually travel in packs, but there is always one of them that travels alone but is feared by most. That's what I want to be from now on, a lone wolf. Nade and Kakashi were studying some hint of emotions coming from Naruto and couldn't find any. Suddenly both of them came to realize that after looking focused to his eyes they could see the feral grin coming from inside him. Each of them shaked a little at the sight of those eyes. If one were to look deep into his eyes one could see a mixture with deep blue and a feral yellow color that could show what a nightmare really meant. If Naruto were to use the Kyuubi's power even Orochimaru would piss in his pants right now. Black Wolf, it is then please attend at Anbu headquarters for your clothes and your test. Yeah, they will test you to see to what area you'll be directed to. You see Anbu is divided in 5 areas: tracking, medical team, assassination, demolition and first response team. As the names of each of them suggests, I'm sure you know which is which. I would assume you would be a part of first response teams since you showed aspects of every kind of mission, but I can't assign Anbu teams, that's their competence. Arato Tsunade-sama, said Naruto as he left through the door, leaving a shocked Tsunade and a surprised Kakashi. Now Nar went to a training ground in order to train his other affinity, which appeared after he came back from killing Kuzu. Suddenly a brunette Kunoichi was passing by. When her eyes noticed the blonde shinobi going away, instantly tears started to fall from her face. She was feeling guilty of the fact that she abandoned him because of his age, but right now she was ashamed of what she did to Asuma and Nar. After Nar left to retrieve Sasaki, she started having second thoughts of staying with him since he was younger, so she agreed to date Asuma, but after some thought she figured that the way Naruto was to her, she felt like he was the one for her and not Asuma. On the next day Naruto awoke and went out of his bedroom to a little passageway that showed a great view of Konoha's neighborhood. As he soft gust of wind passed through his face and literally blew all his worries of the world, even if was only for a second. His only duty today was to showing at Anbu headquarters for his test in the afternoon. Once he changed into his ninja clothes and his Chunin vest, he went through the streets of Konoha for a little walk. At some time he ran into Kakashi, and they started talking about doing some training and about Naruto's test. "Oh Nar, how you are up to this morning, ready for your test this afternoon," said Kakashi, smiling towards his student who in just a few hours could be the youngest one of the rookie 9 to enter the Anbu Special Forces. And even though Kakashi had the mask, pride was literally visible on his features as he saw Minato's face in Naruto. "Ah, Kakashi-sensei, I'm sure I was just thinking on heading towards the lake. I recently got a scroll on some Suiden jutsu and I would like to have a run on them, see how I do, maybe even use them to impress the Anbu judges," said Naruto as held the scroll he was holding and showed to him. "Very good, I got free time, why don't I come along and help you with your training? If I already seen such jutsu I could see what you're doing wrong and correct them. Also I would like to talk you about what is like to be a member of Anbu. Consider it my legacy to you. I was an Anbu captain after all. Great, let's less than greater than go then," said Naruto as him and Kakashi were tagging along towards the lake in order to see what are those jutsu Nar wanted to learn as well as practice them to use at the Anbu's test. "So tell me Nar, how are you feeling today?" asked Kakashi, earning surprised looks from Naruto since he didn't know that Kakashi knew about him and the Genjutsu mistress, and wondered if his sharing was somehow reading his mind as they talked. "What do you mean, Kakashi-sensei? I feel good, I'm about to become an Anbu. What's not to be feel good about?" said Naruto, almost mumbling the rest of the sentence while looking down, at the same time thinking about the girl who was once his angel here on earth and now she was with another guy. "I'm actually hurt that you would think less about my ability to understand emotions. Nar, tell me, it is about the girl from yesterday, right? The one you were looking at. I could very well see your sadness when I told about her relation with Serbia. It's less than greater than okay, you can tell me these things if you want to," asked Kakashi before seeing Naruto's head lift and his eyes were looking directly at Kakashi's, much to his dismay since he knew sadness when he looked at it and such look wasn't different. "Well, I'm sure that Asuma can offer her more than I could. I mean, he's her age and all that. How can I compete with someone as experienced as him? Asuma is a powerful Junin while I'm a Chunin wanting to get into Anbu. Between us she chose him." After some talking about Naruto's feelings and some of Kakashi's experience back in Anbu, they trained the specified jutsu that were on the scroll Nar picked up upon an hour. Naruto mastered the 2 sweetened jutsu on the scroll and just relaxed a little bit near the lake, lost in his thoughts. "I thought she loved me, but I guess that's not good enough for her. She is a strong kunoichi. She needs an even stronger shinobi to protect her." Needing to change the subject, Naruto and Kakashi talked about Anbu and some Tough missions that Kakashi had to endure while being an Anbu captain. You see, Naruto, at some time in your career you'll face a lot of death situations in front of you, and you know what usually happens to you when you experience strong emotions. As an Anbu, you need to keep your emotions at bay. Anbu, or the elite Anbu, are power, agility, stealth, experienced, but I guess you do just fine with your stamina power. In Jutsu Arsenal I believe you'll do just fine. Don't need to worry about me losing to my emotions, Kakashi-sensei. As you may or may not see, I'm not that stupid kid who was always jumping around and saying those inspirational craps all the time, and if you are wondering if I am like this because of Kurana, you're sadly mistaken. I dropped that mask a few months after leaving with Jiraiya-sama for training. Just how do you think I was able to beat those Kumo shinobis in the first place? Kakashi tried to look deep at his cerulean eyes in order to understand just who was the one talking to him, and by some point he concluded that he was the real Naruto without his invisible mask of 100 happiness. It wasn't for the fact that he lost his stamina, because Naruto managed to learn 2 high-ranked Suiden Jutsu, Suiden Dafuku no Jutsu 1 and Suiden Serud and no Jutsu 2. After extensive training time, he was just beginning to understand that even though hopes are what hold a man to purchase his dreams, sometimes such man have to face the fact that only hope won't solve anything. Sometimes such man have to come in terms with reality and remove some obstacles in his life. Kakashi couldn't say for sure that Naruto forgot about his dream to become Hokage, but he managed to see in Naruto's eyes that if he wants to become the strongest in the village, he had to take 2 things into consideration: survive and surpass every ninja in the village. Not many ninjas have had the bless to get through these 2 things, and those that managed to do that would gain the title of Hokage of Konoha 3. After some time, Naruto and Kakashi said their goodbyes. Naruto went to the Anbu headquarters while Kakashi was heading for the dango shop to have some lunch at the dango shop. Once Kakashi entered the restaurant, his one eye caught a little glimpse of Aridade Kunoichi chatting with the snake mistress known as Midarashi Anko. Both of them became really close friends, together with Isuke Yugo, another member of Anbu Special Forces. Yugo was junior Anbu when Kakashi was an Anbu captain. Oho, Kurana Sano-san, said Kakashi as he smiled in a friendly manner, holding his orange book in one hand and greeted the girls with the other, much to the dismay of Anko and Kurenai, since if they could wish for anything was to get rid of the goddamn book, which managed to turn every man into a bloody pervert. Oho, Kakashi said, both of them in unison but never taking their eyes of the book on Kakashi's hands. So Kakashi, what have you done today so far? Oh, not much. I just talked to a blonde friend of mine in the morning and gave him some pointers about Suiden Jutsus, Kakashi said, leaning over to see any reaction out of Kurana with the word blonde being successful, and continued talking. Anyway, I just came by to grab something to eat and then I'll be on my way. After Kakashi disappeared with his dango order, Kurana and Anko returned with the talking. So Kurana, does Kakashi knows any blonde ninja? Because I certainly don't recall on any shinobi that had blonde hair. The last one was the Yandami and he passed away like 15 years ago. Beats me, Anko-chan. She lied since she knew exactly who Kakashi's friend was, and sadness came apparent on her face, which didn't get unnoticed by Anko. Kurenai-chan, what's wrong is about Kakashi's blonde friend. Do you know who is this guy Kakashi's talking about? Asked Anko, as Kurana could just nod, showing Anko that she knew who he was, and answered only his name and nothing more. Leaving Uzumaki Nar, said Kurana, looking down just as thoughts rushed her head with images of the blonde smiling upon her, showing such deep blue eyes as well. You Suzumo, I remember now, it's less than greater than the burden for Brat. I came to know that he had affinity with wind, but Sweden also. It's very rare for a shinobi to have 2 chakra affinities. I didn't know he was that strong. But why are you so down like this? Is it because of him? You tell me what he did and he's going to beg you for mercy after what I did to him, threatened Anko in Kurana. Less than greater than S defense, but little did she know that was quite the opposite. Yes, I know that he is strong. No, he didn't do anything to me, said Kurenai, much to the dismay of Anko, who once again saw Kurena's sad face and asked, then what happened to make you sad like this? What happened between you two? Asked Anko, now very eager to know, since she didn't know of any involvement between the two of them of any king, and quite frankly it was pissing her off to no end, since Kurenai wouldn't open her mouth about Kurenai just didn't understand. At first she was thinking on the blonde shinobi that was once her blonde shinobi, but she dumped him to go out with Asuma, and now she was having second thoughts. Anko looked at her friend with a questionable gaze. What did Kurana and Naro had that made her feel that way just by the mention of his name? Kurana, just why are you so sad about Uzumaki? Nar, is it pity from what he carries inside of him? No, it's not that at all. Anko, aw, forget about it, I don't want to talk about it. So how about you? Anko, interested in someone at the moment? Oh no my friend, you're not getting out of this so easily. I want to know what happened between you and Naruto to make you feel bad just by hearing his name. Anko-chan, please change the subject. Okay, I don't want to talk about this. Did he hurt you or anything? That seems very unlikely because I've never seen anyone want to protect others like him. I doubt that very much. It's less than greater than quite the opposite. In fact, her and I sighed. She didn't want to discuss about it. But Anko wasn't easy to fool, and she knew that she had to tell her the story. Okay Anko-chan, I'll tell you, but you have to promise me that you won't tell this to anyone. Okay, I promise. You're no fun. Kurenai-chan, the thing is it was I who hurt him in the first place, Kurenai said, learning a surprised stare from his friend 5 as Kurana was telling her the story at the Anbu headquarters. Just inside the Anbu headquarters, a blonde chun approached the reception counter and handed Sama less than greater than S permission note in order to be handed out to a certain Anbu that was recruiting shinobis today. Anbu-san, sir, there is a chunin here with a permission from the Hokage to take the test. Send him in. I was actually expecting him, said one Anbu member who seemed to be hidden in the shadows so as to show the new recruits what is like to be an Anbu. As you wish. Uzumaki-san, come here. Will you take a seat over here? The receptionist pointed for him to take a seat in front of a certain Anbu character that was wearing the bear mask. So Uzumaki, Naruto is it? It is. Why do you want to become a part of a new to get stronger and to get lost in a way? Naruto answered, cold and objectively receiving a glare from the bear masked Anbu. Get lost? What, the care to explain? Shunin, certainly. I came to know for a fact that Anbu are very strong shinobi, as well as the fact that no one apart from Anbu and the Hokage knows of an Anbu less than greater than S life. What outside people just know is that a certain masked Anu is very strong, so I want to become strong as well as hiding my presence. I see. Well, here in Anu we have a training method that seeks efficiency, so if you're willing to join Anbu forces, be prepared to have an exhausted training, few hours of sleep, and major trauma-like situations. I can assure you, Anbu-san, I've been through worse and survived. You don't scare me one bit. Confident, aren't you? Well, Tsunade-sama spoke highly of you. I can see that you have guts, and from what you told me, you've seen death in front of you and surpass it. That's what Anbu need to survive. Now here in Anbu we ask our troops about what they want to specialize in, and based upon their answers we test them to see in what level are them in order to receive training. So tell me, Chunin, which element do you have affinity with, and what would you like to be learning here? I have right now a strong affinity for food and chakra and a less strong for sweet and type chakra. My taijutsu is low level, Junin level, and my genjutsu is average. I can only dispel them, but I can't properly use them. So what I would like to learn is 3 things: kenjutsu, genjutsu, and raiden jutsus. I see. Well, you chose some good elemental ninjutsu right there, Uzumaki-san, and the areas you chose to improve are easy to teach as well as easy to learn depending of what you show me right now, at least right now. What you don't certainly think I would just give your Anbu clothes and the title without a little test. Now would you please show us a little more appreciation? We just like to play a little with the new recruits, and if you manage to entertain me I'll let you pass, but serve as a warning, I'm going full out and I expect you to do the same. One thing I saw in my life is that if I don't fight for real my neck will be on the line, so do not worry about me holding back, because I'm sure won't hold back. I expect a good fight from you, and after that I expect to fight some worth adversaries along the way, said Naruto with enough confidence to make the now bear masked Anu smile behind his mask and showed Nar the way to his test. As they approached a hidden training ground inside the Anbu headquarters, Naruto and Bear got ready to fight and engaged in taijutsu battle. Nar, since was smaller than his opponent, wouldn't risk charging straight forward against what looks to be a giant wall in front of him, while Naruto and the Bear Anbu was fighting a little taijutsu match. Some high-leveled Anbus were watching the entire thing behind a double-layered glass along with the god eye. After a while, Nar and the Bearbu were fighting only with punks and kicks in order to see Naruto's movements as well as sense of battle. Nar assumed a position and waited for the Anbu to charge only to evade the Anbu's punch, quickly using his arm in a way as to move the direction of the punch so as to get past him, protecting the entire body from being hit by Anbu's attacks, sending a fast low kick making the Anbu almost drop to the ground if it weren't from the man's agility. After that, Nar came charging, with a sequence of low and high punches being defended by the Anbu while his legs were trying to reach Naruto's, but to no avail since Nar were protecting those as well, earning some average grades from the Anbus. Watching the fight, very good fighting Uzuzuki-san. A couple more experience is needed, but you've got some powerful attacks there as well as defensive techniques. Now for the ninjutsu part, let's fight only using jutsus. Then okay, then begin, said the Anbu, making some hand seals, screaming Katen Goku no Jutsu 6 as he launched a huge fireball towards Naruto, who channeled chakra through his feet, jumping with great speed as well as making his own set of hand seals. Fuden Dappa no Jutsu 7. With that, Naruto sent a strong gust of wind towards the Anbu, who forced some chakra through his feet in order to hold his body to the floor as long as he could in hope to avoid the jutsu. Sensing that the wind was strong enough to make him lose his grip, he lost the battle and was sent flying before gaining balance and landing on his feet, quickly getting up. The Anbu throw a couple of shurikens while doing hand seals, Cage Shuriken no Jutsu. As Naruto saw the two shurikens multiplicate to 20, he throw two kanes as well, doing some hand seals and screamed Kage Ken no Jutsu using as a diversion. While the kunais and shurikens were equally matched in number, a lot of weapons could be seen on the ground, but when the Anbu went to look for his opponent, he was long gone, hiding his chakra in order to wait for the right moment. Nar no 5 Naruto's rounded the Anbu as he made Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Meanwhile, the bear Anu was cursing behind his mask. Damn it, this Chunin cornered me. Now there is 5 of them and either one of them can use jutsu. I have to be careful. Nar practiced this strategy once with Jiraiya. All he need to do was make each clone appear to perform a technique at the same time in order to fool the opponent, since he wouldn't know at the time which technique would be coming at him. Not even Anu Chia could manage to escape, since he had to focus on each enemy at a time, leaving him no time to know which one would attack. In the meantime, Tsunade-sama was having some deja vu, remembering her once teammate Jiraiya do the exact same thing to Iwa Nawanan they encountered once. Well, it seems like Naruto learned that from our perverted Sonin. After all, Tsunade said, much to the dismay of those present around her. Asama, just what is he doing? Just watch. Nar is cornering the Anbu with 5 Kage Bunchons each. Nar is going to perform a jutsu in order for the Anbu to get confused. You see, he has to attend to probabilities. Since Nar has enough chakra for each clone to use, he can either make them release all jutsu at once or fool the opponent, since he won't know which one is going to attack. That's brilliant, Hokage-sama. You said he learned from Jiraiya-sama. This Chan is very interesting. Back at Naruto's fight, each of the clones were making different jutsu, scaring the Andrew a lot since he knew he could receive all 5 of the jutsu suddenly. The 5 clones screamed mostly at the same time: Fuden Dappa no Jutsu, Ringon Sweden, Dibafuku no Jutsu, Food Reintrikan no Jutsu, Sweden Seruden no Jutsu, earning a wide-mouthed stare from everyone behind the glass as well as the bear Anbu. You can stop now, you've passed the test oration, said the bear Anu, merely able to hold his composure at the display of Naruto's abilities with Heil Jutsus, and the fact that he wasn't even tired yet proved that his stamina and chakra capacity were something to call on. Thank you, Anbu-san, I'm quite honored to be a part of Anbu forces, said Nar, politely bowing at his once opponent and now co-worker. You earned it. Now, as you can see here, your supplies are on top of that table over there. You'll have the standard Anbu uniform and a katana. Since every Anbu has one now, we have 2 choices of katanas. Since you have food and chakra affinity, you can choose a katana which steel was forged in order to channel the wind chakra and make your sword not only sharper but also much stronger. All have the food and katana very well, so you can change over their go in return for your nomination by the god Im-sama as a new member of Anbu forces. Understood. In nothing but a minute, Naruto appeared back in the room with his Anbu gear all settled, now standing before the bear Anbuade-sama, Exambu, Black Ops, Hideki, Kakashi and a few other Anbus. Why, I'm not surprised to see you here, Kakashi-sensei, said Naruto as he managed to take a glimpse of Kakashi reading his book at the corner of his eyes. Do you really think I wouldn't be here to see one of my students become a Part of the elite troop of Konoha. I knew you were going to pass Naruto and you sure did. Congratulations. Thanks Kakashi-sensei. Uzuma Huka Nar, put on your mask and come forward. Tsunade ordered. Nar Hi Hokage Sama. When Naruto put his black wolf mask, many Anbus stopped what they were doing and turned to notice their new addition to the group. As he walked towards Tsunade, he turned to acknowledge the surprising stars given by his now fellow co-workers. Surprisingly, a cad-masked Anbu was watching the sudden change at the new Anbu before and after Naruto put his mask on. This Anbu was no other than Isuke Yugo, one of the strongest Kenjutsu users in Anbu forces and of course Konoha as a whole, as well as best friends with a certain Reidade Kunoichi, also known as Kurana. Once Nar Nelid, before the Hokage Tsunade started to perform the nomination of the newest Anbu in the force, Naruto, at the age of 15 years old, by the power invested in me by Konoha, I nominate Uzumaki Naruto a member of Anbu Special Forces. As from now on, when you attend to missions, you shall be called Black Wolf. Congratulations. Thank you Hokage Sama. It's less than greater than quite an honor to be nominated for a new Special Forces, said Naruto, now with the Anbu Special tattoo already placed on his left arm between the shoulders and the biceps. Even though didn't show, was sad that the once hyperactive unpredictable ninja of Konoha now standing next to her with a serious face and respect towards her that she immediately came to miss the old blonde shinobi. While looking at Nar, the only aspect that could resemble Naruto was his golden hair. Almost crying, she thought, Uzumaki Naro is no more now, he is Black Wolf of Konoha. Now turning to see Kakashi, she wondered, Kakashi, could you see Nar inside that black mask? Asked Tsunade, seeing the once hyperactive Naruto hiding behind the black wolf mask, wondering about the fact that Naruto never ceased to amaze her with his decisions and conquests in battles. I'm afraid not, Hokage Sama. The Uzumaki Naruto you know no longer exists. How can you tell? Asked Tsunade, surprised by what the lazy Junin said to her about Naruto less than greater than true self. You see this as the real Uzumaki Naruto, Hokage Sama. The one you meet was only a mask he wore so people could forget what he carries, even if it were for a little bit. Do you think Minato did well by doing this to his son? I understand that he did it to save Konoha, but he doomed his son to carry that much of a burden. You know, Kakashi, at some level one can't seem to decide whether the Yandami chose wisely by putting his son to this never-ending battle. Even though Naruto changed a lot, he still vows to protect the ones he came to love. It was his decision to turn to Anbu not only because he wants to be strong and well disappear, he did it to prevent anyone from Konoha to suffer because of the burden he was chosen to carry by the Yandame. Somehow he took the entire responsibility regarding Kobe only to himself. But there is something else, there is more, explained Kakashi. Kona's genjutsu mistress. What does Kurana have to do with it? Was Tsunade managed to say until she remembered Jiraiya saying about his relationship with the Reidade Kunoichi. In spite of the burden that he carries, he also suffered deeply when he returned from bringing back Sasuke only to see his beloved dating Serbia Asuma. Just how much beating can he take and just be able to sleep at night? I already lost count. Kakashi, just who is he? Kakashi just answered short and painful, he is Konoha's Black Wolf. High at Naruto's apartment. Once Naruto went to his apartment, Kakashi went to his and Tsunade went to her office, feeling pity on the new appointed Anbu. I don't think I could even hear his story, that I would become insane. I can't less than greater than t. Imagine what's passing on your mind now. Nar, you're so close to us, wet you're further than before. What happened to you? I actually miss your old foolish self, you little brat, muttered, holding tears from remembering Naruto when he put the Anbu mask on. It was like the old one vanished from sight and a new one appeared, stronger, wise, experienced, determined. Black Wolf of Konoha back at the Dango shop because of the issue they were discussing. It seemed that time was inexistent when Kurenai finished telling her story with Naruto to her friend. I can understand why you were crying, Kurenai-chan, concluded Anko High, and every time I see him or hear anything about him my heart literally stops beating. I can't breathe for a while and my tears are just consequence of the entire thing. Kurenai-chan, what are your feelings towards the blonde? I'm in love with him, Anko-chan, Kurana promptly answered, earning a look from Anko-chan which leaves Anki thinking, how could you do this? Naruto, you of all people managed to melt the Ice Queen of Konoha more than Asuma? Asked Anko, already knowing that her friend's relationship wasn't going to last very long. Asuma is a nice guy and all, But what I saw inside Naruto's eyes that day was indescribable. Ankochan, when I look at Asuma it's not the same thing. So what you're going to do then? I can't stay with Asuma knowing I'm in love with someone else. Anko-chan, I would just fool him, and I don't want that. Even though Kurenai loved Nar, she couldn't bring to herself to actually hurt someone else's feelings like she did with Nar. So you're breaking up with Asuma. Actually, Anko was never too thrilled about her friends choosing on dates. Asuma sure was a nice guy and all, but she knew that he wasn't any good for her. Asuma, a chain smoker, was a brute guy and was no use to be dating material, at least not to Connie's standard. But the way she and Naruto met, Anko just saw the blonde shun in a new light. I never should have dumped Narco-chan. Now I have to talk to Asuma in a way that he don't get hurt. Just do what your heart and intuition tells you, my friend. If Naruto is what you want, then you shall get him. Thanks, Anko-chan. Well, it's getting late and I should wake up early tomorrow to meet with my team, so I'm going to take a quick shower to brush off things. Do that. I'll head home as well. I have to be prepared for tomorrow. And Anbu force captured some missing nin this morning and they are arriving tomorrow. Me and Ibiki will have to interrogate them a little bit. It will be fun. It's been a while since we had a bunch of missing nins to play with. Same old. Anko, well, good luck with the interrogation thing. With that, both shined to their own apartments to call the day. And I entered her apartment and emptiness surrounded her once again. She was cursing herself for being so weak. She was biting her lips out of anger. She just wished to punish herself from breaking Naruto's heart like that. He already have so much to suffer in his life. He shouldn't have to suffer because of my rash thinking. As she was getting ready to sleep, images of the blonde shinobi rushed inside her mind and she stopped breathing once again. She thought she deserved to be like this. She considered this to be Naruto's voice calling up to her for what she did to him, but she would as hell do the right thing and obey what her heart has been telling about. It could take some time, but I must do what I must. Naruto, please forgive me. At her bedroom, Kurenai was having one of the worst nightmares of her life. She was on a forest near the hidden village of Konoha and she saw Uzumaki Naruto standing right next to her, saying something about the Kyobi and the fact that it's coming their way. But Nar, how can the Kyobi come her when it's trapped within you? I don't know, Kurana, but you don't have to worry about it. Run, leave me here. I'll protect the village from the Kyobi since it's less than greater than my burden to carry, and only I have the power to stop the fox. Go, and I. Kurana then lifted her head in extreme fear at the vision of the nine-tailed monster. Kurana, what are you doing? Get out of here. Hey, damn fox, I'm the one you want. If you want to kill someone, then I'm here. Come and get me. Once said that, Naruto vanished and the Kaylee started following him just for her to see a flash, and the two were gone. When she was crying her hearts out, she turned to listen. Nar screaming out of nowhere, just remember that I'll always love you. Red rose instantly when the sun appeared through her face. She woke up and screamed his name repeatedly, not realizing that she was having a nightmare. Right there she knew that she had to do actually two things. She put on her everyday Junin wear and went out to find the one she needed to give the sad news, the one and only Serbia. Suddenly she got a glimpse at the tall beard man in front of her and called him Asuma. Asuma screamed Kurana like a mad woman while thinking how to tell him what she intended to without hurting his feelings, or if so, don't less than greater than T hurt him too much. Kurenai was thinking if Asuma was the same way inside as he was outside. Outside he was a brute force man, the barbarian type, but how he was on the inside is what she was worrying about, since the news that she was about to tell him wouldn't be pretty. Kurana, where's the fire? Said Asuma, actually worried about the raid. Kunoichi. Kurana was very subtle, never taking to express much of herself in public like she was now. There was a reason for her reputation as the Ice Queen of Konoha, and she pretty much gave credit to her reputation. Ever since they began dating, there was always something that drove her away, of things like a wrong choice who wouldn't go away, her conscience tormenting her mind for something that he couldn't understand, but he damn well knew there was something wrong with her, especially today. Asuma, I need to talk to you, simple and to the point. And I pondered about how to tell the guy, have a conversation first and then tell him, or spell it out and hope that he didn't take it bad from being dumped by the raid Junin. She decided to just tell him and see what happened. Okay, not here, come, said Kurana as she hopped through rooftops heading for an empty training ground. Suma for his part had completely lost any hope of trying to guess what Kurana wanted to tell him about. Mystery was one of her most noticeable features, and he became somewhat annoyed by such a fact. So Kurenai, what do you want to talk about and why we need to talk in private? Is there something wrong? Asked Amma in a cool way while taking a cigarette out and light it in his mouth, fulfilling his nasty habit, which by the way was his way of coping with things he saw along the way of his shinobi life. Kakashi read Ika books, Anko and Ibiki torture missing nins for such a thing, bunch of sadists. And Asuma smoked. Asuma, first I want you to promise that you're not going to hate me or misjudge for what I'm about to say. Okay, said Kurenai, making the bearded smoker now more worried, since with Kurana all could be expected. Little did he know that what he was about to hear would make drop his cigarette on the ground as the couple seemed to be talking with each other. Kakashi was passing by, obviously reading the new book Naruto handed to him called Ika Tactics. He was giggling like a maniac when his eyes caught Asuma and Kurana talking about something, and from both their looks things looked pretty serious now. Back to the couple, Kurana was now debating inside her head about how to put it, not wanting to drag this situation any longer from fear that someone would come and ruin the whole thing, or a mission that needed them both. Her and I had to say it one way or another. Asuma, I'm in love with someone else. I'm sorry, but I just can't stay in a relationship with other than the one I'm in love with. There, she said. It surprisingly, a 100 lb weight slipped off her shoulders and a light feeling rushed through her chakra coils. It was like she just found the key for total happiness. Kurana was glamorous. Asuma, on the other hand, wasn't nearly feeling the same thing. To say that Asuma was taken aback was an understatement. He was shocked by an upgraded version of the Chidori running through his veins and bones, but right now Asuma was searching his mind to remember just who of the heart of the Genjutsu mistress, and he at least deserved to know who the guy is. And I tell me, who is he? I think I deserve an honest answer. Here Asuma was fuming, all right, but he wasn't known for dwelling much on emotional situations. The man was indeed a barbarian, and such feelings for him just didn't hang around that much inside him, or at least at the moment it wasn't. Yes, Asuma, you deserve an honest answer. The one I'm in love with is Uzumaki Nar. There, she said it. At that statement both Asuma and Kakashi couldn't form words in their mouths to comprehend what Kurana said. What, Nar? But he's only 15 years old. He's only a chun. She can't be serious. Asuma, she is in love with Nar, man, and I thought Ika was good. This is something else. Kakashi, Kurana, you're supposed to give me an honest answer here. Nar is only 15 and a chunin. How can he be the one you're in love with? Babbled Asuma, now angrier from losing Kurenai to a brat with pretty much half their age and probably half their experience as shinobi of the leaf. Little did Asuma know much about how much Naruto suffered in his life because a nine-tailed demon. Asuma, I'm sorry, but I can't explain why. I just do. I hope you can forgive me for deceiving you all this time, but I just couldn't go through with this knowing that I'm in love with him. I just can't. Forgive me, Asuma. I was actually seeing him before I was with you and I made a huge mistake. I'm so sorry, said Kurana, opting to just leave him be. For the moment Sashi could attend to her other objective, that was finding the love of her life again. She figured that Kakashi would know about his whereabouts, since Kakashi and Naruto were like brothers to one another, even though the lazy Junin was Naruto less than greater than sensei. Upon seeing him near a tree reading a certain book that she usually scowled him about, reading it in front of a female audience actually gave every kunoichi an S-rank mission that was to destroy all traces of the book's existence around the Fire Country. As she arrived, he raised his head and turned to look at Kurana. Kakashi, I want to talk to you about your blonde friend, said Kurana, remembering about the weird nightmare that she had involving Naruto and the Konoha. What about him? Kurenai replied Kakashi, displaying a look of total apathy to the outside world, earning an A+ in showing everyone he just didn't give a damn about anything. But inside, Kakashi was interested in what Kurana wanted to talk to him about. Nar, I had a dream last night, Kakashi, about Naruto and the Konoha. At this, Kakashi took off his eyes from the orange book and stared at her. Tell me about it. Well, I and Naruto were at the Firelands forest and he said that I needed to run and save myself because the Konoha was coming. Nar attracted the attention of the monster out of me, saying that the monster was his burden alone to carry and that no one had to suffer because of it. As I ran from the scene, I turned to see a bright light towards their direction, and then I woke up screaming his name, thinking he was dead, and took the fox with him. I don't know what that means. Kakashi, what do you think? It seems that Kami wanted to show you just what he told me, Kurana-san, said Kakashi, remembering about Naruto talking about his burden but also wondering about Kurana's dream and the fact that she had the Dream practically on the same day that Naruto told him about it. What do you mean Kakashi? Now Kurenai was taken aback by this. She figured that was just a nightmare, and here comes Kakashi who knows him better than anyone, tells her that the dream was very similar to what Naruto told Kakashi. Nar said to me that he couldn't stand to see the ones he loved being taken away just because of the burden he carries. Naruto by sometime realized that if the Yandere trusted him to carry the Kyuubi, then it was his alone responsibility to bear, said Kakashi as he sighed, thinking about Naruto's face when he told that to him, and the way he was looking at him was frightening to say the least. Nar didn't look sad, he was feeling nothing. It was like he came in terms with accepting his destiny, that the Yandere put him to. Just how can he say something like that? Kakashi doesn't he trust his fellow teammates, said Kurenai, trying to hold her tears while pushing back memories from the dream which involved Naruto doing the exact same thing. In a way, Kurenai, I don't less than greater than think you realize what's going on here. When he grew up because of the Kyuubi, he didn't have a single parent to look out for him. No one wanted to take care of him because they were afraid that the demon would kill them. Nar grew all alone when he met Iruka at the academy. Naruto found the first one that cared for him, then he joined Team 7, and then he met Jiraiya and Tsunade-sama. How do you think he would feel if he saw someone close to him, someone that took the liberty of knowing himself for who he really was other than Kyuubi brat? At Kakashi's words were entering into Kurena's ears, her heart stopped once again, and she couldn't breathe once again. She wanted to be there for him, she wanted to hold him once again, and she wanted to just stare at those Saruan eyes. She wanted to be with him and share his burden with her. She didn't want for her love to feel like he was feeling right now. Kakashi, please, you are the one that he considers the most. You've got to tell me where he is. I need to find him, please, pleaded Kurenai, much to Kakashi less than greater than s surprise, since even though she said that she was in love with Nar, she wasn't exactly displaying it until now. Kurenai, I'm sorry to say that Naruto's whereabouts is no longer a common knowledge. What do you mean by that? I'm not allowed to talk about it, but seeing that you care so deeply for my student, and whoa, I'm going to give you a hint, but if you tell anyone I told you that, I'll deny. Do you hear me loud and clear? Come on Kakashi, I have to talk to him. What once was his mask behind his true self, now he has replaced it with another mask for war. That's the hint. But Kurenai, a little piece of advice: if you are in love with my Oto as you said so yourself, don't stop until you find him and tell him just how you felt about him. Thanks Kakashi, you're truly a friend to him. Thanks for the hint Kurenai. In order for you to solve this puzzle, you have to look deep inside your heart and look there. Only then you'll figure out where Naruto will be, said Kakashi, already walking behind Kurenai. Meanwhile, at the border with Kumo, 4 Anbus were dashing with great speed through the forest of Land of Fire in order to get to the border with Kumo. Seeing their masks, they were Hawk, Bear, Cat and Black Wolf. This was Naruto's 15th mission as an Anbu, being certain that the first ones were set to test his loyalty to Konoha. On one mission he was sent on a trip to a village close to Iowa alone to recover a missing scroll from the Hogue's vault. It was safe to say that Naruto did meet some force, but there were only rogue ninjas and bandits guarding the stolen scroll. Nar in his training was learning how to control Raiden Jutsus and managed to learn a very powerful jutsu called Raiden Jibashi no Jutsu, lightning style electromagnetic pulse jutsu. Back at the mission at Kumo, Hawk was the team captain, and they've reached the place they were to meet the Junma and his 3 genins that asked for help to take care of Chunins from Kumo that were trying to invade a village which was located at the fire country. Once they arrived, they set camp without setting up some fire, so to avoid suspicion, Hawk, being a strong and capable leader, needed to issue some orders regarding the team's safety while resting for tomorrow. Black Wolf, do some scan on the area with Cage Bunchon, said Hawk, since he came to know of Naruto's extensive chakra capacity. Cat plans some traps around the perimeter. Bear, help me here with our utilities. Hi. Everyone in the group called and each went to do their designated assignments. Nar, now known as Black Wolf, made some Cage Bunchons and scanned the area only to find the number of enemies and their positions and report to the squad captain. Hawk, sir, I spotted 5 Kumo Chunins, being 2 on the far east side from here and the other 3 on the left. They are very far from here though. Good work. Black Wolf, did you see if they have skills? Only one, Hawk, and he has a scar on his left cheek. According to my Cage Bunchon, he felt it a large amount of chakra, and if he has just average chakra control, we Are going to have one hell of a fight. Got it. Black Wolf, go help Bear set the camp high, said Black Wolf for Hawk to turn and take a good look at his new soldier behind Hawk's mask. He was caught wondering about Black Wolf and the fact that he was only 15 years old and already a part of Anbu Special Forces. Nearly everyone in Anbu has at least 20 years old, yet Black Wolf had so far displayed an excellent job. Hawk would not be surprised if Black Wolf would become Anbu captain very soon. On the next day, Hawk and the rest of his team proceeded with their plan to wipe out the Kumo Chunins from the village. That meant Black Wolf and Bear would go after the group with the strongest of them, since Black Wolf was also the Anbu with most chakra capacity and excellent stamina, and the other two went to fight the others. Once they arrived at the location of the Chunins, as Black Wolf said they would be, Baron himself was suppressing their chakra in order to avoid detection and if possible take out the enemy without having to fight. Bear was greedy, so he wanted to take on the high-level Chunin, leaving Black Wolf to kill the weak one. Once they defined their target, both of them rushed to a place that they could get a clear shot and attack the ninjas, knocking them off. Black Wolf took care of his one, but Bear was discovered by the high-level Chunin, who actually was an A- ranked shinobi of Kumo, a dangerous one, and the thing was that he knocked Bear out, leaving Black Wolf to deal with him. So Konoha came to play with us, said the Kumo shinobi with a smirk on his face that looked like he was extremely confident about something. Chuki Kuraku, ranked shinobi, if you don't leave this premises right now, I'll be forced to imply on you the same fate that your friend there had, only I can't guarantee that I will go easy on you. That guy was a pain in my, he always irritated me. I should thank you for taking him out. I see. Well, so you don't mind if I keep his head, you know, for collection, said Nar, apparently holding the guy's head and showing to the one who, after seeing the head, pretty much confessed that was actually a friend of the man who supposedly was killed, much to Naruto's grin, knowing that his little plan worked. You bastard. I didn't think Konoha could be so sick-minded. You just killed my friend there, and for that you'll die by my hands, mark my words. For it, little did he know that he was trapped in one of Naruto's newest genjutsu techniques, which made the other see things that in reality weren't happening. Tuki was furious at Black Wolf for doing that to his teammate, charging at Black Wolf with blinded rage, only for Black Wolf to start making hand seals for cage bunchons and started pounding Tuki with a swift taijutsu combo, kicking him hard in the stomach with great speed. Tuki formed some hand seals and screamed food and Dappa no Jutsu wind style great breakthrough jutsu. In less than a blink, the huge gust of wind came rushing at Black Wolf, leaving him only one way out of it. By channeling chakra through his feet, he jumped away from the force, leaving his enemy wide open for an attack. Naruto threw one shuriken and multiplied, forming 10 by making some hand seals and screaming cage shuriken no jutsu. All the shurikens hit the target, making him lose some blood. Because of this, the enemy fainted from blood loss, leaving Nar clear to see how this teammate was doing. Bear, are you okay? Asked Nar after he helped the big Anbu member getting up from the ground. Black Wolf, what happened to that guy? Asked Bear, since he only remember being taken out by the Kumo shinobi by surprise. Bear was berating himself from underestimating the guy's ability, since with one hit Bear was on the ground unconscious. I managed to knock him out and I'm going to capture him. He is an A-ranked shinobi from Kubo and presence guaranteed in Konoha's bingo book, said Naruto, remembering the time when he was reading the bingo book like Kakashi was reading his Ika. Good, then while you do this, where is the other one? I'm going to pick him up for questioning. He is next to that house over there, knocked out on the ground. Could you tie him up for us? Han Cat must be here anytime now. Got it, I'll do it. Just as Naruto were tying Tuki, Hawk arrived with Cat with his captures and requested report. Black Wolf, report. Hi, as we arrived to our location I managed to take out one of them, but the High Chunin from Kubo discovered Bear's position, knocking him out for a time. As I engaged him, I started pissing him off using a genjutsu to appear that I was holding his teammate's head and showing to him, so I took him on a cage bunchin and managed to send him flying. He after that sent a food and technique at me, in which I dodged and finished him with cage shuriken nojutsu. Good work, Black Wolf. Mission accomplished. Congratulations team, let's take these guys to Ibiki-san for interrogation. At Tsunade's office, Tsunade was finishing her paperwork when suddenly 4 Ambus shunshined inside the office and screamed loudly for even Shion to hear outside her office. Mission accomplished. Hokage-sama, you guys Don't have to shout, I can hear you. Congratulations, your paycheck will be available once you arrive at the headquarters. Congratulated Tsunade, proud of the fact that this new squad was becoming along greatly. With some mission success in a row, Hokage-sama, during our mission, Black Wolf here managed to capture an A-ranked Kumo ninja named Chuki Kuraku. He is already at Ibeca's Sanan for questioning said hawk. As he pointed to Black Wolf, Naruto for his part was scowling hawk since he entered into Anbu just so that he wouldn't be showing his face, and yet here is his captain boosting his image to no one less than the Hokage. Is that right? We have quite a bounty with this guy. Congratulations, Black Wolf, you are to receive the bounty once Kumo pays his rescue money. It took a while, but Tsunade remembered who Black Wolf is and she was trying to see him. Even it's just a glimpse of the once hyperactive shinobi. She was getting used to everyone dismissed except Black Wolf. I need to talk to you. Hi Hokage-sama, hold on a minute. Black Wolf, Shizune, are you there? Please come here, you asked Sama. Yes, prepare a message for Kumo. Tell them that we captured this shinobi here trying to harm one of Land of Fire's villages. Hi Hokage-sama, said Shizune, looking directly at the black-masked Anbu with slight fear. He was tall, blonde hair, and he was expelling some dangerous aura around him, almost like saying do not mess with me kind of thing. His eyes were feral yellow and the mask of his was scary as hell. You shall not fear him. Shizune happened to know him for quite some time now, said, trying to resist the urge to chuckle at her apprentice reactions towards the new improved Uzumaki Naruto. Hi Hokage-sama, it's less than greater than just that his mask is scary, that's all, said Shizune, earning a grin from Tsunade. Come on Shizune, you know him as well as I do. Is it? Yes, he is. Sorry, I'll excuse myself Hokage-sama and Busan, said Shizune with some thought. Is that nar? I can't less than greater than T believe it. So Black Wolf, congratulations on capturing the Kumo nin, or shall I say Uzumaki nar, said Tsunade, trying to catch an emotional reaction on the boy by revealing his name just so that she could see a single reaction out of him, but to no avail. Sama, if you're trying to make me look uncomfortable by sharing my identity, with all due respect, that won't. Is there anything you want from me? Hokage-sama, no, you're dismissed, said Tsunade, frustrated from trying to see just a little glimpse of emotion coming out of the blonde anew at Kurenai's apartment. Back at Kurenai's apartment, she was thinking about Kakashi's hint. Actually, she couldn't stop thinking through her entire mission together with her students Inuzuka, Kiba, Abarame, Shino and Hayuka Hinata. Only half an hour before it she was at office being dismissed. By the time her team were leaving the administration building, they heard an Anbu squad returning from some mission and screaming something about mission accomplished and a certain Black Wolf that managed to capture an A-ranked Kumo nin. She was puzzled, but she was apprehensive as hell. She still hadn't seen Nar yet, but she was determined to find her true love at all costs. She was caught wondering about Kakashi's hint that said what once was his mask to hide his true self now he has replaced with another mask for war. Kurenai also remembered Kakashi saying that she had to look through her heart to find out it was a little over than 10 p.m. and she was lying down on her bed, but she couldn't get any answers. Damn Kakashi and his underneath. After some time, 4 o'clock a.m. she couldn't sleep. She was awake all night thinking about how good Naruto's chest was when she used it as a pillow to rest and forget of all her troubles. She missed him so much, but she was determined to find him, so she started bumping on his head for her brain to just give the answer. Suddenly she remembered when she first saw his eyes and remembered that this wasn't the loudmouth hyperactive ninja she once came to know. What once was his mask to hide his true self, Naruto to take off that mask and replaced for a mask or war. It was at this moment that Kurenai was out of breath. She couldn't believe that she was so stupid. It was the perfect hint. Nar took off his mask to hide his true self and replaced for an Anbu mask. Nar became an Anbu. To say that Kurana was happy, it was an understatement. She was jumping all over her bed knowing that she was one step closer to find her true love. She was wondering, of course he is Anbu, otherwise I would have seen him somehow. Kurana was lucky she knew that would know where Naruto was, cause she is the one directly above the Anbu forces and she have her friend Yugo working there as well. When the sun struck on her room she felt a little bit tired, but now she couldn't sleep. Suddenly a knock on the door. When Kurana opened it she saw Hinata. Good morning Hinata. Good morning Kurana-sensei. Tsunade-sama called us to get to her office. Okay then, I'm going to change and I'll be right They're high at Tsunade's office. Once at Tsunade's office, teammate entered to see a sleeping Hokage drooling all over some mission scrolls, so Ka asked his dog Akamaru to wake her up in a light manner. When the huge dog approached Tsunade, he licked her from shin to her forehead, waking the grumpy Tsunade in Azuka Kiba. If your dog is any way near my face again, he less than greater than LLB sent to the dog pound. Understood. Hi Hokage-sama, replied a frightened Shunin. Team M8 presenting ourselves for mission. Hokage-sama said, okay Team 8, oh yes, I have a B-ranked mission at Kumo's border. What are the details? It will be a 3-week mission to study and gather information on Kumo's interest on villages near their border. My last Anbu team captured 4 Kumo-chans trying to take over one village right next to the border. The Fire Damu requested a report on their intentions. Team M8 is to leave by noon tomorrow. Dismissed. Hi Hokage-sama. After that, teammate left except Kurana, who wanted to talk to Tsunade in order to get some information regarding Naruto's whereabouts. Yes Kurana, what do you wish to talk about? Hokage-sama, I was wondering if you've seen Naruto around, asked Kurana, which came as a surprise for Tsunade, and she didn't make any efforts in hiding a thing. Why the sudden interest? Asked, already knowing about their affair from Jiraiya, but wanted to see where this was going. It's less than greater than just that I haven't seen him around anymore, that's all, lied Kurana. Are you sure? What do you mean Hokage-sama? It's less than greater than nothing really, forget about it, said Tsunade, hearing what she needed to know. I'm sorry Kurin-san, but I cannot tell you about Nar. Why is that he is no longer a regular ninja of Konoha. You have to promise me you won't spread this information. Okay, if I learn that you told this to anyone, I'll have you expelled from the ninja order. Do I make myself clear? Yes Hokage-sama. Well, you see, he is part of Anu now. Anu, he is only 15, asked Kurana, trying to deceive Tsunade so that she wouldn't know of Kurenai and Naruto's relationship and the fact that she wanted him back to her by all means possible. She loved him, and deep down inside she knew he loved her. He came to me and requested a position at Anbu. He made a test and was approved. By now he has completed 15 high-level missions with his squad. Anbu personnel are taking a liking to him. Surprisingly enough, he is very professional. His squad is one of the top squads in Anbu Special Forces. Really, I didn't know he would handle it. Being Anbu is tough. Kurana, quit playing games with me in order to find out more about your beloved blonde. I cannot reveal any more information cause it's less than greater than considered classified, said, being fed up with playing a game of questions and answers from Kurana. So you knew, didn't you? Mumbled Kurana, looking down to the ground in shame, since thoughts of what she did to Nar appeared again in her mind and sadness could be felt. Yeah, you want to be with him, don't you? Kurana, very much Hokage-sama. I think I'm in love with him, said Kurana, earning a wide-eyed look from Tsunade, who right now was screaming inside her head. What? How? Wow Naruto, you managed to melt the heart of the Ice Queen of Konoha. Tsunade couldn't form words as she was paralyzed. Hokage-sama, are you okay? Asked Kurana, somewhat afraid to know about Tsunade's opinion on the matter, since the Hokage was like a mother figure to Naruto. I'm fine Kurana-san, do not worry about him, you'll find him eventually. Now I believe your team have a mission to complete. Hi, thank you Hokage-sama, said Kurana as she bowed and left the room, leaving a wondering Tsunade. My god Naruto, you're full of surprises, aren't you? You just can't get enough of changing people for the good. I mean, after talking to Tsunade, Kurana went back to her apartment so she could rest for the day, since it was already nighttime. Suddenly a swirl of leaves could be heard from her living room, appearing no less than the snake mistress Midarashi Anko. She was there in hopes of talking to her friend about the blonde fellow that suddenly grew her interest. Sky-high Anko was still dazed by the fact the one known as Ice Queen of Konoha was falling in love with a supposedly young but also good-looking Chunin. Once Kurana sensed the familiar chakra signature, she went to the living room only to see her best friend with a little bag on her shoulders. Greetings Anko-chan, what are you doing here? Greeted the red-eyed beauty like it was an everyday occurrence that her snake friend appeared in her living room when she wanted to talk or just hang out with Kurana. Anko happened to have only 2 friends in Konoha who didn't treat her like a snake bitch. Oh Kurana-chan, I'm touched that you did not welcome me to your home. I just thought of keeping you some company and get to talk about the blonde Gaki for a bit. That story of yours really got to me. You know, I'd never think someone like him would get to you that much, said Anko, only for Kurana to look down to the floor, feeling sad of hearing what her friend said. What About him, what not about him? 2 chakra affinities. Chunin at the age of 15, handsome, have beautiful blue eyes, as you said. Of course, if what you said back there is true, then he is one hell of a guy, mumbled Anko that last part mostly to herself from imagining Naruto and Kurenai together in a provocative yes, he is indeed quite a guy. Anko-chan, I wouldn't be feeling the way I do towards him if he wasn't add to the fact that I came to know yet another feat that he was able to do instead of just a chun at the age of 15. He recently entered the Anbu and he is now a member of the Anbu Special Forces. What an Anbu! At the age of 15 I didn't figure he was a prodigy hidden under the hideous orange jumpsuit of his. But wait, how you know he entered Anbu program? I worked close with them at the torture and interrogation division, and not once had I seen him there or any blonde character for that matter. Did Yugo-chan tell you that? Asked Anko, to which Kurana nodded her head in the negative. No, Tsunade-sama told me. She even told me that he's doing quite well there, having already completed 15 A-ranked missions and a couple of S-ranked ones, not counting some B and C-ranked missions that I think he already completed a number close to 30 B and 40 C ranked. Well, considering his A and S ranked missions, it only seems accurate to say that he has completed quite a lot of middle risk level missions. But Kurana, he is too young to witness the hard life from being a part of Anbu. Trust me, I've been there, said Anko, showing some concern on the boy's mental stability, clearly not considering just who Naruto is in the first place and the fact that he faced worse than being an Anbu since the day he was born. Anko-chan, if even the Kyobi no Yoko doesn't scare him, what makes you think that any other event would scare him at all? Besides, I'm quite certain that he might be with Yugo as partners, and she is one hell of a kunoichi. She might be there making sure he was alright. I don't know, Kurana-chan, it wouldn't seem like that if Naruto is what the rumors have led to believe. I'm sure that Yugo is strong for sure, but Nar sure wouldn't need any help from her. More likely he would end up helping her getting out of tough situations because of the monster inside him. Naruto knows no chakra exhaustion, no needing to be at the hospital for more than a day. Yugo-chan is one of the best Anbu there is in headquarters, but she cannot hold as long as Naruto in a fight. From what Kakashi told, Naruto has nearly everlasting stamina, explained Anko, to which Kurana frowned. Yugo was her idol. She is part of Anbu Special Forces for quite some time and still has time for dating the Kenjutsu specialist Gekko Hayate. It would be impossible for Kurana to compare Yugo's fighting ability with just anyone, but she was thinking about her beloved blonde and how would Anbu training make him stronger than he already is. After some extended talk with both of them, they made a little bed for Anko to sleep and continued talking some more until Kurana at some point couldn't take him of her mind. Every word Anko said Kurenai would associate to him, which made her friend a little angry, but seemed to get past it since she knew how much she was suffering from not getting together with Naruto or even find him for that matter. On the next day, Team 8 consisting of Kurana, Ka, Hinata and Shino went to their mission towards Kumo. Along the way, Hinata noticed that her sensei was appearing very sad about something. She never saw her sensei's emotions other than a quick smile as a sign of congratulating her students. Seeing that, she decided to talk to her and see what was wrong with her sensei. Kurana-sensei, is there something wrong? Asked Hinata, deciding on the direct approach strategy so as to get to the point and see if she could do anything to help her sensei. For some time now, Hinata lost that shyness around people, and after the Chunin exams, when she was promoted, she was able to show everyone that the once Hyunga Hinata was gone and she would be stronger. What do you mean? Hinata Kurana, for her part, was trying not to show depressed or any emotions rather than the normal smile, and on occasions praising on her students' abilities to a certain degree. But at hearing Hinata's out of the blue question, she was cursing herself from doing the exact opposite from what she intended. It's less than greater than nothing. I just turned to look at you and you were looking down for some reason, and I wanted to know if you were fine. Oh, sorry sensei, you can tell me why. Are you sad? I'm just sad because I'll be leaving the village for quite some time and my search would have to be interrupted. Search for what? Oh, it's less than greater than nothing. Hinata, he will be here when I return, right? Kurenai faked smiled and also smacked her forehead for mentioning the he in the sentence, making an open statement that Kurana was dating someone. You never told me you had a boyfriend in Konoha. Kurenai-sensei, oh, he isn't my. Kurana couldn't finish this sentence. Sure, she wanted more than anything for Naruto to be her boyfriend, but she was considering his Feelings since she didn't consider before when going out with Asuma. Hinata saw for the first time those sad ruby eyes and pity her. She was suffering because she was having feelings towards this guy, and then she had to leave him and go to their mission, so she dropped their talk and started studying their surroundings as well as grasp the mission details with her sensei. At night on Konoha's border, it was already nighttime in the middle of the Land of Fire's dense forest, and a certain black wolf-masked Anbu could be seen patrolling the area. A few days back he volunteered for some border patrol at night at least 3 days a week. Deciding to wait a little bit, he sat on a fallen log. So far his new choice of lifestyle has taken him to higher levels of experience as well as fighting. So far he learned quite a few jutsu from accessing Anbu less than greater than S library and study some scrolls from Kumo that he got with an Anbu X Kumo ninja. Needless to say that Naruto also learned some food and raiden jutsus, since Kumo rely on both these element jutsus. Right now Naruto was working on genjutsu mid-level ones and how to dispel high-level ones. He learned some very good ones and one used by the Nadim at the Sandame called Kokuongu no Jutsu. Journey into Black Darkness technique. Black Wolf was looking at the peaceful environment around him when he gazed at the moon and noticed it was full moon today. Suddenly a noise could be heard not too far away, and Naruto could feel his Charka signature. Wondering that it didn't belong to anyone he knew because of his now trained sight, he started looking towards the direction that the 4 footsteps could be heard. Almost the same type. Nar just stood there waiting for the supposed enemy to come inside Black Wolf's mask. The feral grin was noticeable and Nar was ready for what was coming. During his time in Anbu, his fellow comrades come to fear him when he showed such eyes. It was like bright yellow that could glow in the night, but what Naruto encountered wasn't any shinobi or kunoichi. In fact, the only thing he could see was those same eyes as his own, golden yellow eyes exchanging looks with his own. It appeared that the creature was studying Naruto's intentions, since the eyes stopped moving after some time. Staring at each other, the creature walked some more, letting the moonlight show how it looked like. Nar was astonished. For the first time since he joined Anbu forces, the creature was a big black wolf with scars all over his paws showing signs of fierce battle and survival, and it was studying Naruto's reactions. Black Wolf facing Black Wolf, and then the wolf started talking to Black Wolf. Anbu, I can see in your eyes, human, that you are very similar with my own. And why is that? Asked Nar, now getting ready to defend himself if needed be against the wolf in front of him. Your eyes show the same thing as mine, feral determination, but what almost scares me is the fact that you seem strong but you travel alone most of the time. I'm just like you in a way. In fact, I believe that we share a lot of similarities. The path I chose to follow, it's different from what you think. A wolf always travels in packs, as kind of attacking in group or having at LW someone to protect you. I chose to be a lone wolf, a being that's not afraid of fighting alone or cornered against the wall by being outnumbered. I see. Very interesting. Your ideals are similar to my own, but to think that you aren't the only lone wolf in this area. Can you see anyone here that resembles myself? Human, no, I cannot see and I cannot sense any presence other than us. So you see, I'm a lone wolf too. I was expelled from the wolf clan a few months ago, and since then I travel alone, fight alone and win alone. Now that you say I do resemble you, do you have a name? Wolf, the name is Ace. Mine is Black Wolf Anduazumaki. Nar, at first when I saw you from quite a distance, somehow I could feel your feral aura. It was like it was calling me somehow. You're quite a human, Naruto-san. It's been a while since I meet one like you. How old are you? Does it matter? No, not much. I have 200 years old and I'm still young enough to put fear at those who come near just by showing my feral grin. Well, since you told your age, it would be rude of me not to tell my age, wouldn't it? I'm afraid so. Okay, I'll turn 16 next week. Still too young, I see. It wouldn't be wise of you to underestimate your enemy just because of his age. You know you show quite potential. Naren, tell you what, if you beat me in a fight, you can sign my contract and summon me anytime you're in danger. Isn't the wolf's contract? How can you have a contract of your own? When I was expelled from my clan, I made my own and kept looking for a shinobi to sign this. Okay, so if I beat you in a fight, I can sign your contract. One, right, let's go then. Both black wolves assumed fighting position and came charging towards each other, basically on taijutsu. After no one could land a hit, Ace used food and chakra and threw a little hurricane towards Narcase. Quite a technique you got that. I don't like to brag that much, but it is okay. See if mine is as good as yours. Then Fuden Dappa no Jutsu wind style great breakthrough jutsu with that Naruto threw a huge gust of wind at Ace, who got out of the day of the wind just in time since it was quickly approaching, and Ace wouldn't been able to just stop the wind from coming at him. Then Ace did something with his claws that Nar recognized right away, since he took his katana and did the same thing by channeling wind chakra. Both attacks consisted of creating a razor wind capable of cutting anything, quite similar to Fuenkei's no Ya wind style wind sword jutsu technique, but with an actual sword. I can see you're strong, Naruto-san. This battle does not need to go further, quote, but I didn't hit you yet. Look closer at my left paw. Your technique beat mine and made this cut here. Here is my contract sign with blood. Okay, so Ace, do you have a home to come back to? Cause if you want, you can stay with me back in Konoha. I've been in these woods for far too long, Naruto. I think I'll accept your offer. Okay, then let's head back. I just have file a report to our god Hokage, and then we can head home. God, she is our leader back in Konoha. I thought that the Sandaime was back in charge. What happened? It's less than greater than a long story. I'll tell you along the way. So just how fast are you, Ace-san? Ace showed his first smile in decades and vanished towards Konoha for Naruto's amusement. That fast, huh? Okay, let's go with that. Both black wolves vanished, arriving in Konoha and jumping through rooftops towards the administration building at Tsunade's office. Tsunade was finishing some paperwork and was very bored, to say the least, since Naruto entered the Anbu. Not once did he burst into the door and called her Tsunade Oba-chan. She missed that a lot right now. She was looking at the empty Konoha since it was nightfall and those who weren't on missions was sleeping right now. She suddenly sensed someone coming fast, but she sensed Naruto's chakra as well. In an instant, Naruto and Ace appeared on top of the building next to the administration building, and then sunshined inside her office. Tsunade-sama reporting back from border patrol mission. Ah, Black Wolf, okay, but tell me, who is your friend over there? He is my Sasuke-sama. He is called Ace. At the mention of his name he came forward and greeted. My greetings, Sama. I once met your grandfather, the Shadaime, and I'm honored to meet you. Black Wolf, you can summon wolves now. No, just him. The contract that I signed only summon Ace. I see. Sama, do you need anything else? No, Naru. Tsunade didn't finish the sentence and both had already sunshined her office. They both have that look that scares the shit out of me. At Naruto's home, Naruto and Ace arrived at Naruto's apartment and Naruto fixed the sofa for his new summon to sleep along with something to eat. Then Naruto took off his uniform and decided to look himself at the mirror. Long gone was his smile and joy in his face. Long gone was the Naruto who resorted to saying he would change Konoha once being Hokage. This Naruto was different after that. He went to sleep at least a couple of hours since he had to report at 7 at Anbu headquarters. Once he arrived at Anbu headquarters, Naruto did his routine at the training ground. Right now he was focusing on Kenjutsu since he mastered already Raiden and Genjutsu. After that, since he didn't have any missions in the morning, he summoned Ace. What do you need, Nar? Well, I was thinking we can practice some moves as kind of teamwork fight. I see. Well, since we both have wind affinity, there are a couple of moves I can teach you to do with me that wolves did together. Okay, first one, did you remember the attack you hit me with? After getting a nod from Nar, well, we can surround the enemy, rotate and start throwing razor wind attacks from all directions. Meanwhile, it looked like there was other Ambus watching him train. Hawk, Bear and Cat was staring him with a black wolf training some joint attacks with a wooden dummy. There he goes again, always training and doing missions. He doesn't rest, started Bear talking to Hawk. He's pushing himself further only to get better results on missions. I heard from Kakashi, see that Black Wolf trains a lot only to be able to protect his comrades, answered Hawk. He knew Kakashi. See, Cat asked. Kakashi see was his Junin instructor for quite some time, and even he was surprised when Black Wolf beat Bear here in combat. After a while there was a sound inside the Anbu headquarters, reaching for Black Wolf and Hawk to go to Tsunade's office right away. At Tsunade's office, Tsunade was looking through some documents. She was waiting patiently for two Ambus, seeing as she sent a letter to the ambushed a while ago. She was about to smash her fist in annoyance. Hawk and Black Wolf presenting. God, I'm Sama. What do you need? It's an A-rank mission. My sources told me that 4 Iowa missing nins were attacking a village near Konoha. Reach the village and capture the enemy. And Hawk, I want them alive. I want to deliver them to Iowa. Hi God, I'm Sama. Black Wolf, meet me at the West Gate in half an hour. Hi, it would be your 25th rank mission, isn't it? Black Wolf High Westgate. Once they met at Westgate the travel began. Black Wolf, since you are the one with Sweden affinity, you will take the lead. My fire techniques won't do much to these missing nins. How about some joint attacks then? What do you mean? When a certain rock is heated, a blast of water is what it takes to break it. What do you propose then? If any of them happens to know some good defense jutsu, we will attack together and penetrate easily. Okay then, enough talk, let's go faster. High. When they arrived at the village there was destruction everywhere, just piles of giant boulders near some buildings. Just when Hawk gave up the mission saying it was too late, both Andrew encountered Iwa jutsu coming at their directions. Hawk and Black Wolf each break to different directions, managing to divide the group of IWA missing nins. So Konoha came to have some fun, right? Surrender or we will have to use force. Okay, I'm really scared. You know you don't scare anyone. In the intercom that Anbu just recently acquired them, Black Wolf communicated with Hawk. Hawk, close your eyes when I say I'll use a genjutsu to blind them all. Okay then now, said Nar, making fast hand seals and screaming Kokumu no Jutsu, journey into black darkness technique. After Naruto's technique, everything the IWA nins could see is dark and was sitting targets for the Anbu to attack, so Black Wolf tackled two of them with a food-infused katana, knocking both of them, and Hawk did some hand signs screaming Kaden Housinka Nojutsu, hitting some fireballs at the rest of the Iwan nins, burning their stomach and knocking them out. Nice work Black Wolf, thanks. Okay, make a cage bunchan and let's carry them to Ibuken High. Cage bunchan no Jutsu at Tsunade's office. After 4 hours of mission, 2 Hawks and 2 Black Wolves appeared carrying the IWA missing nins. Mission accomplished. Hokage Sama screamed Hawk, to which was actually holding herself from punching the Anbu. Right there, good work, take them to Ibiki High. With that both vanished, leaving Tsunade alone. To think those two are quite a team. I was thinking of assembling a team of elite Anbus for S-rank missions. Noticed that there was one paper on her table and she turned to look at it. It was this mission's report. The report said that Black Wolf aka Uzumaki Naruto made an A- rank genjutsu to blind the opponents and they were sitting ducks. I didn't know Naruto's chakra control was good enough to perform such technique. Shizune, get me Black Wolf's history file. I want to see how he's doing. Hi Tsunade Sama, here it is. Okay, let me see how that Gaki is doing. Name Uzumaki Nar, age 16, code name Black Wolf, chakra affinities Fuden and Sweden, missions 1025A 40B 80C 100D, training mastered Raiden Jutsu Junin, level chakra control genjutsu abilities average, and right now training Kenjutsu arts. Summon Wolf, named Ace, mental stability stable, rank Chun, elite Anbu official, mid-level Jun unofficials. Was surprised to see that considered Naruto a Junin according to his skills. She still remembered the day the Gaki learned the Renan and just how much he grew since he arrived from Jiraiya's training. Now come to think about, Tsunade was wondering about Naruto's new face. Some time had already passed and she has never seen his face anymore, only his eyes in the Black Wolf mask. Whiles was thinking, a shinobi entered, kicking through her door with a request for backup. It seemed that teammate was being captured because of the information they acquired. Damn it, Kurana, just how the hell did your team manage to get caught? You have 3 Chunins that could sense enemy a mile away. Shizune, get Black Wolf and Cat here right away. High. In less than a minute both Anbus appeared for Tsunade to give their mission. Since there are Konoha shinobi on the line here, I'll make this an S-rank mission. You see, Team 8 was captured by Kumo just past the border between them and the Fire Country. You guys are to retrieve them immediately. Tsunade managed to look at Naruto's eyes and caught the first glimpse of emotion. Since he joined Anbu he knew who was in Team 8 as well as Kat, but she was completely angry because they kidnapped her friend Black Wolf. Will be team captain dismissed. High. Since there was a rescue mission, were trained to gather chakra through their feet to get there faster but without wasting enough chakra in case there was a battle to face. After some distance Kat caught a glimpse of Black Wolf and sensed what many ONU had come to fear, his feral grin and his yellow eyes. Suddenly Naruto took some blood and put his hands on a tree screaming Kuyo less than Unk greater than S Nojutsu appearing Ace to the aid. Black Wolf 2, what do you need? It's a rescue mission. I and Kat are the only ones that were sent, but I can sense there is at least 6 Kumo ninjas there, so we less than Unk greater than LL need your help. Just how do you know that there are 6 ninjas? Kat was perplexed. Black Wolf's right, I can smell 6 presences other than Kona's ninjas. Ace concluded Team M8 happens to have 3 old friends of mine, and I can assure you any of them could sense any enemy approaching, so it means that they were surrounded and surrendered, said emotionless Nar. Yeah, I also got a friend there as well, she must be the Jun, her name is Kurana, said Nar, showing some major killer intent 3 which didn't get unnoticed by Cat. He knows Kurana but he wasn't on her team of Genins. What happened with Black Wolf and Kurana? Those thoughts came to her as soon as seeing Nar getting angry upon hearing her name. After a while they have arrived at the place and they saw a house which appeared to show 4 ninjas seated and 2 guards standing inside. Okay, here is the plan. I'm sure, Ace, that you already know where are the enemies, so go with Cat. There are 4 enemies outside the house and 2 inside. We have to take the 4 first. So Cat and Ace, you take the ones on the left there and I'll take the ones on the right. Permission to kill but use Kenjutsu and stealth assassination. Same for you, Ace. Well, not Kenjutsu for him like humans. Do his claws had to do the trick. Got it. The ones outside were disposed immediately by Black Wolf and Cat's stealth assassination and Ace's quick claws. After that they gathered just outside the house and suppressed their chakra. Okay, good job both of you. Now the remaining 2 inside, I'll cast a genjutsu inside, leaving Cat and me time enough to dispose of the last ones. Ace, thanks for your help, now go rest a bit. After this I'll go home. Okay, good luck Cat, you're ready. When you are inside the house, Team M8 was pissed. They were captured by Kumo shinobis and they didn't know what to do. Shino sent the call to Konoha for backup, but in order to get where they were there would be some time. Meanwhile Kumo could torture them or worse. Little did they know of Naruto's plan just outside the house when a sudden darkness surrounded them all. Genjutsu, just who the hell did this, wondered Kurenai, considering that such technique was pretty damn hard to do. Suddenly everyone could hear swords being taken out. An attack was heard, then 2 bodies fall hard to the ground. When the genjutsu was dispelled by the one who cast it, Team 8 suddenly sat and standing in front of them with the Kumo ninjas on the ground dead. Team 8, we were sent here by Hokage-sama to rescue you, said Black Wolf. Finally, I thought you guys would take a while to get here, growled KBA, when suddenly everyone in the room caught glimpse of Black Wolf's yellow eyes and trembled in fear. Even Cat, who unleashed the ropes and the chakra suppression devices, was sweating since she knew of her partner's history at Anbu. Forgive us for my teammate's behavior, Anbu-san. He is just temperamental. Kurenai apologized. Forget about it, led less than greater than S. Go had. Sama is worried about you all, said Black Wolf. Kurenai was still looking at the black masked and knew she was positive that she heard that voice before, but the eyes sure brought her memories of her beloved blonde. Once they left the house, Shino came to Black Wolf and started talking. You can fool anyone with that mask, but me you cannot. Good for you, Abarum, but tell me, just how did the Kumo shinobis manage to fool you? Then they used my teammates against me, said Shino, ashamed of the fact that the Anbu was right. I see you've changed a lot since I last saw you, Wolf. No, Shino, you must be confusing me with one annoying blonde Brad did only got in the way of things. Shino was taken aback by the Anbu's less than greater than S harsh comment from quite a distance. Kurenai and Hinata were seeing their talk. So Kurenai sensei, this Anbu fellow is quite a guy. Is he the one you were sad about? How can you tell? Hinata, by the look you gave him back at the house. I can't less than greater than T say for sure, but I sensed a somewhat familiar presence on him. I said, and Hinata laughed. What's so funny? Hinata, it's less than greater than nothing. I just never thought that my sensei could fall in love with someone the same age as my own, said Hinata, leaving towards Ka and leaving Kurana less than greater than S surprised look. After a while, teammate and the Anbus were returning from their mission when Kurana decided to talk to Cat. How are you, Kurana-chan? Feeling better? Hi Cat, who is he? Said Kurana, pointing to Black Wolf. Oh, he is Kona's Black Wolf Anbu, the one who saved you guys. I'm sure you sense the genjutsu used back there, right? After a nod, Yugo continued. Well, he casted it, said Yugo, checking on Black Wolf's back since he was leading the squadron. Answer me, who is he? I don't know myself. He is the only Anbu who doesn't take his mask off. Even inside Anbu headquarters, I've never seen his face, but I've seen his eyes and I can tell you he is strong. But I was wondering about something. What is it? When we were coming, he told me about his friendship with your team, and when I said your name, his killer intent was all around the place. Care to explain? Don't less than greater than T have a clue? Mateen knows a lot of people and he could be anyone. Kurana was caught remembering Hinata's words and then looked at Black Wolf's hair. Kurandai during the whole trip was thinking about the mysterious Black Wolf Anbu and the fact that his presence made her tremble inside. Since she sensed the same thing a while ago after some hours traveling teammate went home and Kurana followed the Anbu's Tsunade's office. At Tsunade's office, Tsunade was looking at the window when the Anbu's and Kurana sunshined inside. How did go? Mission accomplished. Sama, we disposed of the enemies and recovered every member of Team 8, reported Black Wolf. Congratulations, both of US ranked. Mission accomplished. Kerr and I, how about your mission? Here is the report. Nad Sama, thanks. Now care to explain how a team of trackers were captured? Hi Tsunade Sama, the Kumo ninjas surrounded us and captured Ka Zakamaru, so Ka was captured, rendering everyone I see. Be careful. Kerr and I, your team should thank Cat and Black Wolf for saving your asses. They are some of Anbu less than greater than S elite. Hi Argato, Cat and Black Wolf for saving us. It's less than greater than our job, Black Wolf said and vanished. Kurenai was speechless. She somehow knew that he was Nar, but such coldness just didn't belong to him at all. So Kurenai was sad again. She told her search ended and that she had found her blonde lover, was also taken aback by Black Wolf's emotionless remark and turned to look at Kurana with some sort of pity. She reached Kurana and told her about Black Wolf's history, hoping to give some pointers for Kurenai, indicating that Black Wolf was indeed Nar. Don't be that way, Kurana. Black Wolf was just as sad as you. How such coldness in his way of words? It's less than greater than, like he doesn't have blood in his veins. He lost someone very dear to his heart a while ago and he vowed to go mission after mission and training after training in order to not let this feeling take over him, but I don't think he forgot. I believe that his feeling just rose and he was cold. Listen Kerr and I, do you want to talk to him? Yeah I do. I want to thank him for saving me, but the bastard just sunshined out of here. Okay then, this may be a secret, but tomorrow night he will guard the Westgate border so you can meet him there. Thank you. Tsunade Sama dismissed both of you at Kurenai's apartment. She arrived at her house and took off her clothes in order to take a little shower. Her mind just couldn't stop thinking about the Black Wolf. I knew it was something about him that resembled her Nar, but she was remembering the phrase he used it, and she has never seen anyone so cold before in her life. When she went to sleep, she remembering what Tsunade told about him and how he suffered because he lost his loved one. Somehow Kurenai thought that Tsunade was mentioning Naruto's history for her, and it was she who broke his heart. Suddenly the pain in her heart grew and she couldn't breathe anymore. She was trembling of fear just by thinking that she was somehow responsible for turning Naruto into a cold-hearted shinobi. Her mind was trying to compare Naruto and the black-masked Anbu, although she was confused because of the inner personalities of both of them. Sure, in appearance they are similar, but inside they are two different persons. When 2 a.m. appeared on her alarm clock, Kurenai was caught thinking about him so much she wasn't able to sleep. After some time, Kurana's body overcome the mind and she was asleep, of course dreaming about her beloved blonde. Kurenai was in her apartment. It was daylight and she was just awakening when she looked through the windows. It was him, the Black Wolf masked Anbu, standing on a roof near her house. Suddenly they exchanged looks and he came over to her window asking like an extreme gentleman, did you get a good night's sleep? Kerr and I sure did. A new Sanurai's outfit was rather provocative to say the least. After that the black masked Anu entered the apartment, taking off his mask, showing her beloved Naruto with golden hairs shining even more because of the sun, and he gave her a sudden passionate kiss that made her tremble so much on the inside. After all she enjoyed so much when he was dominating her, she could feel his strong arms and chest with lots of scars all over, signifying his experience as a warrior. As both of them was hugging tighter and kissing longer than ever before, showing their passion towards the other. When Naruto went to her neck, her breath stopped for a second and the hormones kicked in, making her moan a lot because of it. If someone watched Kurenai sleeping, she was going from side to side moaning Naruto's name as if she was dreaming about what would be like if he just showed up, throw her to bed and just possess her. Unfortunately for Kurana, someone was indeed watching and taking mental notes of her situation. Not one but two of her best friends watched her moaning Naruto's name as if he was making love to her in such a way that even her two friends became aroused at the way Kurena was describing her dream even though she was asleep. Kerr and I, wake up, said Enko. What? Oh my god, what time it is? Relax, it's just 6:30 a.m. We wanted to have breakfast together, but according to what we heard, I think you want to be alone for some time, said Yugo with a fox grin. What are you talking about, Yugo? Oh my god, Nar continued. Don't less than greater than T. Stop please, something like that, teased Yugo. I dreamed about him, it was wonderful, he was all over my body, kissing just every part of it in such a cool and hot way that I just couldn't help myself, and we got the point, her and I. You don't need to tell us. Yugo was already sweating from her hormones. She knew one thing though, she was definitely talking to Hayate tonight. Yugo, in all my life I've never been like this before, and I think you know who he is since he is your coworker. My coworker? Do you mean Black Wolf? Is Nar Konoha's most feared wolf? Black Wolf is Uzuzuki Nar, once being called a brat by Kakashi. See that, Naruto? Yugo was speechless but not surprised. Black Wolf was one of the strongest and most mysterious member of Anbu, but not once did she thought that he was the Kobe guy. Wait, did you say Black Wolf? Asked Anko, showing her fear to her friends. Yeah, why, I got to know him. Everyone I know is afraid of him. Some say that he is a wolf disguised as human because of the way his eyes look when he shows killer intent. Is Black Wolf Nar? I believe so. Wait, does Anko, the one who isn't scared by anything in this world, is afraid of the Anbu? Giggled Yugo. Did you ever see him? Yugo, if Kurenai is right, Black Wolf and I rescued Team 8 from the hands of Kumo last night, and to believe that Kakashi at first said that Naruto wouldn't ever be suited for ninja duty. I want to ask him now that he became one of Anbu, less than greater than S. Elite, said Kurana after Kurenai took a quick wake-up shower. The three took their breakfast together, but still talking about the mysterious member of Anbu, aka the Black Wolf, and to say that Yugo was surprised was his understatement. She was astonished since she knew that Naruto left to train with one of the Sonins Jiraiya and became a Chunin in Kumo. What was most surprising for her, it was the fact that one known Ice Queen of Konoha was falling in love with him. But Kurana-chan, if Black Wolf is in fact this Naruto, what was that our job thing that he told yesterday like he didn't feel anything, said Yugo, almost pooching herself after receiving a kick from below the table from Anko and seeing the sudden look on Karina's face. I hurt him and I feel terrible for it. You see, we dated for some time. It was 3 years ago. Naruto had left with Jiraiya-sama for about 6 months, and Tsunade-sama assigned me as well as two Chuns a mission towards Iowa border. When we arrived close to the border, two Iowas attacked us, knocking the two Chuns in an instant and dispelling the genjutsus I cast upon them, so I was surrounded and already fearing for the worst, to be either tortured to death or be raped. Then from out of a sudden a golden blur literally flew by, knocking both Ambus with a single kunai, striking the Ambus less than greater than S neck. It was Nar, but not the Nar I came to know when he was a genin, a grown one with a Chunin vest and extremely handsome. Details, my friend. I know I heard this story before, but we'd like you to describe a little better about his appearance. Okay, then after he saved me from the IWA Ambus, he lifted his head and looked directly at me with a slight grin that normally a person at his age wouldn't have because of his supposed lack of experience. When I looked at him, I was feeling as if his eyes had already owned me in such a way. The sun was sending some light on his hair, and I at that time could have sworn that his hair was pure gold. Okay, then what did he do after saved you? Tell us, Kurin-chan. You're killing me, asked Yugo. He looked at my eyes and said, are you okay? Kurenai, get out of here. I never get a hime of Hayate-kun. I'm a little jealous. Okay, continue. Since those anvises Kai pierced my shoulder, Naruto did some hand seals, and his hands turned green with healing chakra. He gently put it on my shoulder, healing the wound. At first I was amazed at the warmth of his hand, but then when I caught a glimpse at his eyes, that's when my heart pounded. His eyes was cerulean blue, clearer than the ocean water. I was speechless. After that I managed to ask him why he helped me. Flashback on Naruto healed Kurenai's wound like a perfect gentleman, caressing gently with his warm hands, and Tsunade started feeling something that she hadn't felt before, love. But being the professional she was, she tuned to Kunoichi and started asking, Naro, why did you save me? I was wondering about these woods when I sensed someone in danger, then I managed to kill them and save you. As to why I saved you, I don't think I need a reason to baka. Those are IWA and Ambus. You are foolish to confront them like you did. You are just a genin. Yet beside the fact that the way you sound, it makes me want to kill myself. I'm no longer a genin, I'm a chunin. Sorry about that, but when were you promoted? After some new competition being held in Kumo, I managed to beat every genin I encountered, earning the title. They just sent the message to Tsunade-sama and she returned it with this Chen Vest now come to think about it san you have beautiful eyes they're less than greater than like two shiny rubies said Naruto earning a blush from Kurana nar kunai Kurenai was taken back by Naruto's compliment as well. As more blushed by the kun added to his name but she would be more blushed because of what Naruto would be about to say oh just hold on a moment Kurin-chan it seems your teammates needs rescue as well. Said Naruto healing both of them and done well they are fine but they need some rest Kurenai-chan follow me to a tent I have nearby so we can treat them said Nar earning a nod from Kurana so tell me Naruto-kun. You changed a lot since I last met you and I'll be honest I didn't expect you to grow this much Arato you know the thing is the one you meet before it wasn't the real me as a matter of fact I appeared to be annoying smiling a lot so people would forget about my situation but my plan didn't work at all since everyone thought of me as being Kobe so I metaphorically took off my mask shortly after leaving. Konoha I'm sorry I didn't mean to bring back sad memories don't worry about it and for all I know those won't stop happening said Nar showing Kurana just how painful really is to carry such burden but why didn't you say this to anyone I was afraid that those who didn't know would know and start to hate me for something I didn't do or even ask for it Kurana was taken aback she never took the time to know him the way he is now and a feeling rushed upon Kurana love for the first time in her life she knew what she had to do she reached him and gave a profound hug on the blonde making the intent rise between the two of them resulting in a passionate kiss from both of them after some intense fight between them in order for the kiss to be unforgettable they broke it for a little bit of air and a moan out of their mouths were quite hearable oh my god Naruto-kun where did you learn to kiss like that I don't know Kurana-chan I just wanted to kiss you so badly I just went for it and let me tell you if it's dream I don't want to wake up me neither with that they gave another passionate kiss that lasted another 5 minutes at this point both their hormones were sky high and the only thought passed through their minds was making love with each other so Kurenai took off Naruto's blouse and was aroused by his puffed chest and his six-pack so she started rubbing his chest with her tongue in her hand then Nar took her chin raising her face up to his and stole another kiss making Kurenai moan inside after the kiss Nar started taking Kurana's vest off making her topless with the help of his tongue and his warm hand he started massaging her breaths making Kurana cry in pain for his name while biting her lips a little bit oh Naruto-kun don't stop keep going where do you want me Kurchin down here as you wish Kurenai when Nar started licking Kurenai's private area she just couldn't control her body anymore since ecstasy took over to say she was liking was an understatement she was loving every second of it up to the point that she grabbed his hair and pull with such force as well as squeeze her showing that she was about to explode from such pleasure. Oh my god Naruto-chan I'm coming. Screamed Kurana do you like it Kurheim are you crazy I loved it Nar tell me and if you say no I'll kill you right here what is it my him do you have protection with you yeah I have Jiraiya sensei lent me some quote, oh my god Nar I can't just wait pick one and please take advantage of me please. Hi after Naruto put on his protection Kurenai pushed him to the ground sitting on top of Naruto's making her scream out of pleasure after some time of Kurana going up and down his Nar out of the blue. Just threw her to the ground and stick it in with such force as to earn a huge moan from Kurana nice move Naruto-kun just take advantage of me and continue what you're doing please because it's less than greater than so good. Suddenly an extreme heat came for both of them signifying that they were literally on fire being extremely wet suddenly Naruto felt a new sensation indicating that he was about to come oh Kurenai-chan I'm coming oh me too please come inside I beg you but don't worry about it we're protected I just want to feel your fill every space inside my oh I can't less than greater than T hold anymore Kurenai-chan I love you 2 Naruto-kun flashback off and that's how we've met said Kurenai to her friend still remembering of her dream as well as earning 2 glares of women panting because of their hormones being kicked in oh my god I'm definitely seeing Hayate today I can't less than greater than T hold this any longer what's wrong with me am I picturing Naruto and Kurenai having oh my god I'm god this is killing me you go less than greater than thought rushed through her mind like crazy Yugo-chan are you alright you look like you're sweating over there you're not picturing me and Naruto in your head now are you cause if you are please stop it it's less than greater than Very perverted, said Kurana, for you go to just snap out of her little dream. Oh no, Kurin-chan, I was just thinking about my boyfriend. That's less than greater than all. He lied. Damn, I have to control myself when I see Black Wolf. If I see him, I'll start imagining him taking over Kurana and just taking control of the situation, showing her who is dominating. Oh my god, I'm sweating again. Kurana-chan, I'm speechless. The way you told, I could imagine how big your love is for him, Yugo said, almost caressing her own body for an instant, much to the dismay of Kurana, who just cursed herself from telling such story to two of the most perverted women in Konoha. Yeah, I wonder if I'll ever have that again. So tell me, how did you hurt him? Kurana-chan asked Yugo after receiving a kick from under the table by Inko. What? It's less than greater than Okeo-chan. When I arrived at Konoha from my mission, I don't know why, but I suddenly had a feeling that it wouldn't be right to be with a guy half my age, so I decided to look for other one closer my age. When he returned from his trip, he saw me with Asuma and was crushed, and now my heart is crushing me again. Oh my god, here you go, Kurenai, said Anko. I think he still loves you. Kurenai-chan, how do you know that? Because of the way he acted when I mentioned your name. When you're captured, he wasn't worried about his friends, but he was with you, said Yugo, cheering Kurana. I hope you're right. You will meet him tonight, won't? Less than greater than tu high. So tell him just how you feel. Just come to him as if you were still in your dream and tell him how you feel. Thank you, Yugo-chan and Akochan. I will. At 8, all the three of them went different ways, and Kurenai was cheerful again. She would get together with her love. Naruto woke up the next day with sudden feelings all over the place after he came home from teammate retrieval mission. Somehow seeing Kurana again made him feel occasional chest pains that were driving him insane. When he realized that Kurenai was captured by Kumo shinobis, he could feel anger, not Kaiu anger, since he didn't want to rely on the fox anymore, but killing intent anger. He wanted to save her more than anything. If this happened before he became Anbu, he would charge against the Kumo shonobis head-on without thinking twice, probably causing his and her death in the process. Nar realized that in the past his actions couldn't be more wrong. He cursed himself for not thinking about changing before. If he changed, no one would have to suffer to protect him like the way people did before. Nar got out of the bed and went to the kitchen to grab some breakfast. Waking up Ace, who was sleeping on the couch, the wolf saw Naruto's face and eyes and managed to see everything that he needed to know. Nar was sad, angry, and disappointed at himself, and Ace, just by looking at him, could read him like an open book. In fact, over time Ace became the only one who understood Naruto, since ever sure there was Iruka, Kakashi, Kurenai, Sandaime, Tsunade, Jiraiya, and some of the rookie 9, but Ace was the one Naruto could count to share some feelings, and both of them knew that. What's the matter, kid? I can see in your eyes. Is there something wrong? I'm disgusted at myself for not realizing before that I was weak and didn't do anything about it. Now it's already late. If I'd realized 2 years ago when I graduated at the academy, I would be much stronger, and people wouldn't have to underestimate me or downsize me. If I showed everyone that I didn't have to resort to his power all the time, then they would drop this hatred. Not everyone can fight the demons. Well, kid, I already told you that back when you were at the academy you didn't have the experience you have now, thanks to your time at Anbu Special Forces and our battles together, but you've got to realize that your past is far gone now, and there is only the present and the future. No one can live based on past events. You have to live according to the present and the future. I know that, but if I were stronger before then, for the love of God, kid, stop whining about the past, cause no good can come of this. I'm sorry I have to say this, but your past has to be forgotten so that the present and the future can appear. If you let past obscure your judgment, you'll never grow up and may well end up dead in battle. Ace understood Naruto, but he had to improve his self-esteem a little bit. Kid, you're one of Konoha's elite. Anbu, you should be proud of what you accomplished right now. You're right, Ace. Sorry for that. I guess that I let my emotions get in the way again. Kid, your emotions are what keep you alive in the first place. Without instinct, you're no different than any cold-hearted murderers who are just in for the kill. It came the time for you to do something that let you cope with your stressful missions, but I believe that you already got one, don't you? You have heart to protect this village, so that's not a problem. There is another issue in your mind, isn't it? How can you tell? When I looked in your eyes I felt 3 different kinds of emotions: sad, disappointment, and anger, and I pretty much remember how your eyes were shining yellow yesterday. Of Anger towards the kidnappers of Team 8 said Ace, much to the surprise of Nar, which by this time knew that he couldn't hide anything from his friend and partner in battle. I can't hide anything from you. Now can I know you cannot. Now how is it that cat masked, or is the genjutsu specialist Jun the Junin? Her name is Kurana. By the look in your eyes I can tell that you have feelings for her. Yeah, pretty much. I think I may be in love with her. During my training trip with Jiraiya sensei I came to encounter her being cornered by two Iowas, so I rescued her, killing them. When we exchanged looks it was like time stopped and I could see those blood-red ruby eyes looking at mine. After that it was safe to say that I had the best week of my life with her, but she had to return to Konoha to report for her failed mission and disappeared. When I returned home I went to look for her only to know that she was with another man, explained Naruto while Ace was paying attention. She broke your heart, didn't she? A lot actually. I've had a glimpse about her as well, kid, and I can tell people's emotions just by looking through people's eyes. I can say that she is feeling just like you're feeling right now if you're telling me that. Both of you exchanged looks and then connected. I can tell you this, she feels the same about you. I just hope you're right, Ace. Now we've got to go to Anbu headquarters if you want. Breakfast is on the table. I'll be taking a shower and put my Anbu gear. Thanks, I was kind of hungry, said Ace as he lied down on the couch once again. After some time Nar appeared on the living room with his Anbu uniform with his black mask on this hand, looking at Ace. When he put that mask he is no longer Nar, he is Black Wolf, and he knew that once he put on the mask he became focused on the task at hand. They exchanged looks with each other and then went out of the apartment. Both of them went jumping rooftops so fast that the eye could only see to black blurs, and then it was gone. While they were jumping they passed one Reidade Kunoichi's apartment, and surprisingly enough she was looking at the window when Black Wolf and Ace were passing by, and she saw them passing in less than a second, but that was enough for Black Wolf and Kurana to look at each other. At Kurenai less than greater than S apartment she still had some time until she had to meet teammates, so she just stood near her window looking at Konoha getting ready for the day. Since shops were starting to open and the people were starting to gather through the streets, she was then looking at the sky wondering how her beloved was doing. She was wondering what to tell him when they would meet at the West Gate at midnight. She was confident that they could be together again and her heart would finally beat the normal way. She couldn't take that anymore. Every day it pounded harder and just couldn't stop. Today would be the day that she would confess her love to him. Suddenly she felt it, two very strong signatures coming close to her, and she tensed a little bit when the two blurs appeared in front of her. She was shocked. It was him and a big black wolf. It was Black Wolf Anbu aka Uzumaki Nar, and somehow she saw his blue cerulean eyes for one second, time enough to show her that Black Wolf was in fact Naruto, and she was extremely happy she would get him back to her again and no one would stop that. Team 8's a training ground. Kurana was the first one to arrive since she got up earlier. A few minutes later Hinata and Ka arrived, then Shino arrived just moments later. Good morning team, how are you doing? Greeted Kurana, seeing their faces. What happened to you guys? What everyone is sad about? It's less than greater than about our last mission, Kurana-sensei. We were captured by Kumo shinobis and we had to resort for outside help, Ka said, speaking from his team while earning nods from the other two. I see, there was your first failure, isn't it? Yeah, that was hard for me too, but what you've got to do is train harder so that this won't happen again. Hi Kurana-sensei, but something about that black mask really intrigues me, right Akamaru? Everyone looked at Ka, seeing that he was the only one still clueless of the fact that the black masked Anu was in fact Nar. What about him? Ka asked Kurana, trying not to tell the truth about the black masked Anbu, since the other two did already know about it. Well, I felt like I already knew him somewhat, but the genjutsu he used, it vanished any of my expectations. In order to recognize him, I don't know any genjutsu user other than yourself. Kurana-sensei, Ka are considered Konoha's best shinobis. It's no wonder they are as strong as you've noticed, but I can guarantee, Ka, that you know him better than you think you do. In fact, I think that everyone in here knows who he is, but since he wears a mask it's for a reason and you should tell no one about this. Got it? After a nod from their team they separated from each other for a light spar. Kurenai and Hinata, Shino and Ka. So Kurana-sensei, do you finally manage to see the black masked Anbu? I did. I could see his eyes as he was flying by next to my apartment, but there was another creature with him something like a wolf. It was quite strange. Did you think he got the wolf contract? He could be his summon maybe, but I've never seen a summon walk close to the summoner all the time. I believe that the wolf is like Akamaru is Tiba. There is a possibility Kurenai sensei, but maybe he is both a summon and his partner a summon and a partner. Could it be? I don't know. Hinata. After about 3 hours of training, teammates said their goodbyes to each other since they didn't have any missions today, much to Kurana's happiness, cause she would be furious if the one time she was to meet Naruto Tsunade would send them on a mission. Kurana was walking through the crowded streets of Konoha minding her own business, thinking about her encounter date with the blonde and elite when a message was delivered to her by the Hogue's personal hawk Tsunade-sama. If you put me on a mission, you less than greater than regret. At Tsunade's office. When Kurenai entered Tsunade's office, she was already expecting to be sent on a mission, cursing her luck. She entered and saw not only Tsunade but Jiraiya as well, looking at her with a small grin on their faces. What are those two planning? Kurana, please take a seat. Hi Hokage-sama. Jiraiya-sama, what can I be of service? Actually, it's about your encounter with Black Wolf tonight while he is doing border patrol near the West Bridge. You were able to see how he reacted when you thanked him for saving all of you, right? So you know, as I know, that he's no longer the same Naruto everyone used to know. It seemed that he joined anew with two purposes, and I believe that he will share them with you. Since what I know, it's only a lucky guess. After all this time, I don't know anyone that can be so unpredictable like him. When I met him the first day, I couldn't stand his bouncing all the time. After some time I became used to him and his referring me as Ba-chan. When he returned and called Messid-sama, my heart froze instantly. Suddenly the Naruto standing in front of me wasn't the real him, and I even believe he was brainwashed. During his time in Anbu he grew a lot stronger, faster, fearless and emotionless. It was not because of the mask. Everyone could see a new less than greater than eyes, but when he showed his eyes to me, it was the first time I sensed fear just by looking at someone. I figured that I was surprised because of his sudden change of feelings. The reason why I'm telling you this is because you'll be meeting him, and given the fact that what you've done to him, I'm worried about. Tsunade was cut short by Kurenai. I know what I did to him. Tsunade-sama, I know very much. Every time I think of him, or when I see him, or even when I hear his voice, my heart stops, and every time I have a feeling of extreme regret of what I've done to him. Sama. Jiraiya-sama, I know how you like him as well. I think that you guys see him as a son figure, and he too cares deeply for both of you. I know that because he told me when we were together at the forest. I don't know why he doesn't call you like you're used to. Maybe if he did, he would give away his identity to anyone. I don't know. Kurana, you have to realize that Nar fights an everyday battle with Kaiu. He just can't give in to his emotions just like anyone, said Jiraiya, with all due respect to both of you, but Nar isn't a kid anymore. He has already killed without the Kyogre's influence. He cared for everyone in this village even though no one cared for him. He has become a part of a new less than greater than elite, a fate that many shinobi here with much less burden than Nar and still couldn't be able to do what he did. Do not underestimate him or treat him like some sort of child who doesn't know what he's doing, because if that was true, then Kobe would have destroyed us all years ago. Nar controls it. Nar shows it who's in charge, and on top of that he managed to melt my heart by only looking directly through my eyes, something that I once thought that no man could ever do, said Kurana, bursting with tears and extremely proud of defending Naruto like she did. Nade and Jiraiya were flabbergasted by Kurenai's outburst. Sure, they knew that she and Naruto had a relationship, but until now Kurenai didn't prove that she was in love with him. They had the same thought in their minds as to why he became what he did, and they managed to realize that their adopted son was already a man, a shinobi of the leaf, deadly to his enemies and caring to the ones precious people to him. The reasons why Naruto became Anbu was to get stronger and protect everyone from Akatsuki. Since they would come after him with his disappearance, nobody would have to protect him because of his burden. And I, on behalf of the Sonin's name and God, we humbly apologize for what we said. You're right, we underestimated him in a way. We didn't expect him to get this far, and up to now we wasn't entirely sure about your feelings for him. Now that you showed us just exactly how you feel about him, I can say that you guys will have a great future together. Now I know of the reason why he became Anbu, and I believe that you know as well, right, to protect everyone from the burden he carries. So he doesn't have to worry about other ones protecting him from the Akatsuki, said Kurenai with tears still falling while earning nods from Jiraiya and Tsunade. Right, Kakashi was right. After all, this is the real Nar. The one we used to know was actually wearing a cheerful mask all the time, hiding his true self. Nar with the black mask vowed to carry alone his burden, and he would prefer to kill himself if that what it would take to protect his precious people. We don't have to worry about his condition because he is already all grown up and is a real ninja of the leaf, no less no more. Kurenai was relieved to say the least. She didn't know why she outburst like that in front of not only two Sanines but also the god I'm Hokage, but she didn't regret what she said since those words were true. Sure, she was a professional. Sure, she was respectful, but somehow she felt like she had to back Naruto up from these two, and she felt extremely proud of what her love had accomplished just out of his confidence and inner strength, and to think that he was willing to carry the Kyuubi's burden all by himself. It amazed her even more now that she thought about it. Kyuubi was responsible for the worst attack in Konoha since its foundation, and Naruto is the one to control the beast with his own body. He would prefer to kill himself than to let anyone suffer because of what he was chosen to restrain. Sama, it's getting late. Is there anything else you need me for? No, Kurenai, you're dismissed. Sorry for what we said. We didn't put into consideration about how much you wanted to be with him, and that just proves that he has the heart of a warrior and that his legend would continue. I'm looking forward to seeing what you two would accomplish together. Hi Hokage Sama, I know we will at Anbu, less than greater than S headquarters. It was already 9 o'clock p.m. and those who didn't have families to go to would stay in case there was an emergency call for the Hokage. In the training ground you could see Black Wolf fighting against Hawk. These two are the ultimate Anbu's duo, and they have accomplished a lot of missions together. Bar rank mission, you name it, each one protecting the other, and their combined attacks proved to be unstoppable since Black Wolf's wine part affinity would enhance Hawk's fire jutsu to an extent that they could wipe out an army with just two jutsu. Kaden Guyaku no jutsu fire style, great fireball, and Black Wolf's food and Dappa. Now they were only focusing on taijutsu contest. Both of them were panting a little bit because both of them happened to have great chakra reserves and could hold on longer than almost everyone in Anbu. Both of them went charging each other with their chakra-enhanced arms, almost crashing together, creating a little wave of chara through the training area, breaking a few windows. Because of that, when they noticed, they decided to stop. Of fear that the bill would be sent to them, so they stopped and laughed a bit like they were buddies their whole life. Naruto found a friend in Anbu, a colleague and a rival, all in a same person. Likewise Hawk did. Black Wolf's once sadness in the morning was long gone, and Ace was a witness to that. He was watching their fight and was quite impressed with their moves. Ace had to realize that he did change as well. He had seen a partner in Naruto and a friend, so he was not a lone wolf anymore. Now he traveled alongside another wolf just as deadly and just as strong. Ace found a home in Konoha, and he enjoyed going to the Hokage monument with Naruto to just watch the sunset's effect on Konoha. That was their place. Hawk-san, it's almost time for my mission of border patrol. I really should get going if you ask me. I think you're crazy of doing this hell border patrol missions, and I think you're even more crazy for volunteering for this, Hawk said. Hey, I don't complain. It's less than greater than peace and quiet out there and needs that every once in a while, and that was how I met Ace, so I don't regret volunteering, said Nar, looking at Ace. I guess you're right, we see just so many crap there. Sometimes it's nice to just relax a bit. Too bad I like the rush of our missions. Don't get too soft, Black Wolf, or I might just kick you the next time. Now who is the crazy talking Black Wolf? I'm off for tonight. See you tomorrow. See ya. So Ace, let's head to the west gate for our mission, Nar said, and Ace just disappeared playing a little game. Oh, so it's like that, isn't it? Come here, you all get you for this. Let's just see you try. Gaki, don't push your luck, you're just winning because you had a head start in less than 10 minutes. Naruto and Ace traveled all the way to the west gate until they reached their favorite spot, a log that faced the river, which in time mirrored the image of the full moon, much to the wolves' happiness, since they both enjoyed the beauty of the moon reflecting through the calm river water. Also, Naruto could just relax hearing the sound of the calm water making its way towards to meet another river very slowly, sending Nar a natural sound that brought him utter peace. With Kurenai, when she looked at the clock, it was only 1 minute to midnight, so she opened her door and started jumping rooftops to reach there. In a peaceful way as to not alert any other Anbus. She was wondering a bit before looking at the sky and noticed that today it was full moon and the beauty of it was just indescribable to her. Little did she know that her lover was staring at the same view from his spot by the woods. Her heart was beating steady now, showing her that her decision of meeting him was the best thing to do. She would go there and confess her love to him like she should have done a while ago when he returned from his training trip. When she reached the enormous gate, she ironically compared the size of the gate with Nar, seeing that he was everything to her. He would protect her just like these gates would protect Konoha. She saw an opening on the gate, which could only mean that Black Wolf had passed through the gate and was fulfilling his mission. She was wondering why Naruto chose to be here every week on this particular date patrolling the West Board. She came to learn from Tsunade that Naruto did volunteer for this kind of mission, and she didn't know why he did this. Does he sleep once in a while? She was amazed at how much stamina Naruto had if he could be a part of Anbu and still be up until this time, but then again this would be one of the many things that were impressive about him. Since she saw him on the forest, he was everything a woman could ask for in a man: loving, caring, respectful, and quite handsome. Kurana blushed at the last compliment. She remembered how he looked like back then, and she wondered how much he grew physically all this time. As she passed the gate, she noticed that the full moon was illuminating everything, and that the forest would receive constant moonlight, demonstrating to her this ultimate view of a forest being illuminated by the full moon. She was flabbergasted. She couldn't have thought of a better place or a better time to do what her heart intended for her to do all along. When she was walking towards a small river, her jaw dropped all the way to the ground. She was paying close attention to the way the moon's reflection on the river would be so damn beautiful, and yet she couldn't find her lover or any trace of his chakra signature. She was beginning to feel like she was too late, thinking that he did already leave, but she took away that thought since his mission would end to another 15 minutes and he had to be here. Suddenly her eyes shifted the moon's reflection on the river and noticed a figure seated on a log near a four-legged creature. As she was approaching the guy, her heart started beating fast, but it wasn't like anything she felt before. It was beating of anticipation of meeting again with her lover. A few more steps, she could already see the black-masked Anbu sitting there staring at the moon as well. Suddenly she heard two words that make her heart feel much better, two words that only the one blonde companion could say, seeing that he was the one who gave the compliment to Kurenai when they met at the Iowa forest. Red Rose whispered. Naruto, still looking at the reflection of the moon, or at least from Kurenai's view of where he would be looking. It's been a while, and Busan. Kurenai's professional tone would never be lost, as she earned the rank of Konoha's Jun for a reason, although she was just waiting to tell him about her feelings for the blonde. 2.5 years. It's less than greater than astonishing to me that you could be more beautiful than before, Kurenai-san. Even though Naruto was still on a mission and still hidden behind the Black Wolf mask, that didn't mean that he couldn't be himself. That didn't mean that he couldn't be charming and romantic to the one woman who earned his heart like no one had before in his life, but still she was the one that also tore it apart when started dating another man. And although Naruto wanted to move this thought from his head, he couldn't, at least not by his own will. Not yet anyway. Anbu can change a man's way of thinking. After some horrified views of battle scenes and body parts just hanging from trees, still charming as ever. I see you've become strong. Blue eyes. Your name is becoming very famous throughout the shinobis. You know Konoha has Black Wolf. Naruto turned his mask to see the beauty who sit next to him on the log. He never knew that his name was being every shinobi in Kunoichi's dialogue, nor that he cared about gossip was one of the many things he despised, since only a few comments were true, and those were highly changed to make a compelling story to the ones who liked to hear. But the name Kurenai mentioned he was really thinking about. She never called him by the color of his eyes and was caught wondering if Kurenai did that in order to give the Anbu a compliment without giving away his cover. I don't tend to believe in rumors and gossip, Kurenai-san. All of them are highly overrated, and the person would change the events only in order to give the story more emotions. But I know that you don't believe what people say, do you, san? Asked Naruto with a motionless tone behind his mask. What he didn't notice until just now that he couldn't take his eyes off hers. It was like they were exchanging looks all over again. Normally I wouldn't, but the stories came from God Sama herself, so I don't think she would make a story up just to bolt your status to everyone. All Tsunade Sama knows about it's The mission it's that either was accomplished or failed since she only have a report to base her stories. She don't know what really happens at missions, but given my team's successful assignments I could see that we're doing well. Kurana thought for a moment but decided to leave the thought. Sure, he was being modest regarding his abilities, but since Anbu worked undercover, one knew less than greater than S abilities were only known by his colleagues as a matter of keeping the element of surprise. I wouldn't take you for modest, Anbuin, but even if you wouldn't recognize people, can I know I do as well as Kakashi-san in the Hokage Sama. There was a time back when I was graduating from the academy when I actually cared for others' opinion about either myself or my abilities as a shinobi. Funny how time changes a person, ain't it? Kurenai knew that Nar back then was only wearing his cheerful mask all the time, and she knew that the person in front of her was the real Nar, strong, charming, respectful and determined. She loved those qualities in him as she was beginning to lose her emotionless tone on the conversation, seeing that her lover was now highly matured mentally and wouldn't say anything as to endanger any negative situation. I see. So how's Asuma doing there? It was he popped the question that needed to be answered in order for him to start opening his heart for her. Naruto looked at the sudden sad eyes on the kunoichi's face and knew that she was somehow ashamed regarding this issue. You were waiting to make this question all along, didn't you, Anbu-san? As to the answer, I am no longer dating him. When hearing that, the Anbu turned to see her eyes studying her response, and he somehow knew she was speaking the truth. As to Kurana, she knew that she had to talk to him about it, but she just couldn't keep this from him as she would be confessing his love to him. Why? asked Naruto without the need of any other word to take a deep breath and start proceeding to her mission. I was only fooling myself with him. Deep down inside I knew that my heart belongs to someone else and I just couldn't fool him with false hopes. It's less than greater than not him, the one I'm in love with, who is then Naro. Since was behind his mask, managed to hide his anticipation about hearing the answer to his question. To him she was the only one in his heart, that what it is and that what's always will be, but he didn't know she felt the same for him. His heart was starting beating again, not with anger, not with sadness, but anticipation to her. If his beloved would think of him as he thought of her, the one I'm in love with, Anbusan. Well, I would rather show much than telling his name. Is that all right to you? And Busan her, and I suddenly made a decision that she would kiss him right there. She couldn't take it anymore. Even though her experience managed to control her anxiety, her heart was winning and she couldn't hold much longer. Do as you wish, mumbled Nar, not even bothering to display a cool response to him. It felt like the world could end at any time if it were to depend on what Kurana wished to show to him, but after what Kurenai intended to do, Naruto wouldn't need to worry. In what we could be seen as an ending love scene movie, Kurenai just put Naruto's entire mission at huge risk, taking away his mask in a reflex manner, putting her arms around the now unmasked Anbu and started kissing him with enough passion that Naruto was frozen for a second. Out of a sudden his heart pounded on him like crazy, and his mind was acknowledging the fact that his beloved kunoichi was kissing him. Naruto returned the kiss with extreme pleasure as they were kissing right in front of the mirror image reflection of the full moon, making one hell of a picture, one that both of them would cherish for the rest of their lives. The moment was recorded inside their brains. After a few minutes they break the kiss because of air, and both of them just right to do this, as if fate had come knocking on their doors. You're in love with me, Kuranihime. Ever since our little affair at the Iowa forest I couldn't stop thinking about you, Nar. When I returned to Konoha I was frightened. People called me the Ice Queen of Konoha for a reason. You know, I just didn't open my heart to anyone at all, but I will not lie to you, I was afraid of our age difference. I was afraid that people would comment behind my back. I was afraid of how would our relationship would be, and out of shame and apprehension I did the most stupid thing I've ever done in my life and started dating Asuma. I did it because I thought that it would be better if I dated people my age, but somehow I could feel that was fooling myself as my heart was already taken, and it was Yuaki Nar. For the moments we exchanged looks until we're sleeping together. I am truly sorry for what I did and beg for your forgiveness. I was weak and I didn't follow what my heart was showing me all along. It was you, Naruto, and will always be you. Kurenai was now bursting through tears right now on Naruto's chest with his arms around her, showing her how he felt about her. Kurana suddenly felt what her heart was showing her. It was that warm feeling she always had when Nar Hugged her with his arms and keep her safe, more like she was listening to his heart. Kirchen, when I saw you with Asuma, I won't lie to you, it hurt like hell, believe me, but as my carrier in Anbu was going, I just couldn't stop thinking about those blood ruby eyes of yours. When I first saw them, I instantly felt something inside my body. I was trembling from a feeling that until then I haven't felt anything that could even resemble a sparkle of what it was. I had dreams about us almost every night. I had clearance to rest since that day in the forest. I knew that I was in love with you, Kurenai, but now I think that feeling grew up to a point that I know if I lost you again I just wouldn't know what to do anymore. I'm in love with you, Kurenai-chan, and I'll always love you as you are now registered in my mind and in my heart. You always had a way with words, Naruto. I feel the same way, and when you're not around somehow my chest hurt a lot, only to remind me that you are the one for me and you always will. I love you, Kurenai-chan. I love you too, Naruto. With that they returned one deep and strong kiss with each other. If anyone would see it, it would resemble as a couple trying to get back from the time they weren't together. That last kiss just counted for their 2 years apart, and they were going with all their might in order to compensate from what they missed. When they break up for air, a voice started saying, broke the attention of the couple, as well as a surprised look from Kurenai. I hate to interrupt your moment, but Black Wolf has an identity to hide while on a mission, and I would hate if any enemy came to realize that Konoha's Black Wolf was in fact Uzumaki Nurad, so you better put these so we can go home, said Ace, holding Naruto's mask on his mouth. Give me that, Ace. Sorry, Kurenai, but my companion here is right. That kiss was the best that I ever had, but try not to take away my mask again, okay? I would hate if my enemies found out that you were with me, because they would come to you to get me, I understand. And Busan, do not worry about that. I enjoyed that kiss as well, but I have to say to you that I don't regret what I did for even a second. It felt wonderful and spontaneous. I've never done that before in my life, and I love to do that to you. It felt like I couldn't do better, you know. It felt wonderful. All right, I'd never imagine you doing that. It felt great. Now how about we go to my place and so we can compensate for the time lost, and then tomorrow we can have breakfast together. How just that sound? I would like that, and can I tell you something? I think you'll enjoy it, pretty much whispered Kurenai, with a foxy yet perverted grin on her face, much to Naruto's already perverted mind while remembering the last time they had go ahead. I always wanted to have with an Anbu, whispered Kurenai in Naruto less than greater than s eyes with a smooth voice that awakened every one of Naruto less than greater than s hormones that were asleep at the moment, making his body trembled with excitement. But since he was awakened, his prankster side awoke as well, so he joined the conversation on equal terms, showing an enhanced foxy grin that Kurenai always feared. It when she saw it, she was already cursing herself for teasing her lover like that. She damn well knew it would be one hell of a night only by seeing Naruto less than greater than s foxy grin. Do you now? I'm glad you feel that way, my him, because you're less than greater than in for a little ride with me tonight, that I can assure you, said Naruto to Kurenai, now whispering to her ear, making Kurenai nose bleed just by thinking about it, and she could already feel his body on top of her own, sweeting like a pig and moaning her name out of pure pleasure and lust. At Naruto's apartment, scene action. When they arrived at Naruto's apartment, he took away his mask and gave his usual smile that could send Kurenai to the sky rocket speed, and she couldn't stop drooling over him. Back when they're outside, she was so caught up on kissing him that she forgot that he now looked hotter than ever. His hair grew, showing a spiked golden hair and that whisker marks. She could just stare at his face and die as a happy woman. If only his face was the best part of him, she would be able to control herself a little better. But as he took off his Anbu's less than greater than s gear and remained with a sleeveless shirt, she noticed the tattoo carved on this well-toned muscles and love scenes just popped out of her head. Just how did he get so perfectly handsome? Back then he was already good looking, but now he's breathtaking and jaw-dropping hot. Her and I couldn't stop thinking about it. Sure, she loved him for his personality and his blue cerulean eyes, but that didn't mean she could not drool like a fangirl over him, and her hormones were jumping like crazy inside of her. I can't less than greater than take it anymore. I want him now, right here. Yeah, here is perfect. Nar was staring at her a little bit confused. He didn't thought for a second that Konoha's most beautiful woman would drool over him. She was beautiful. Her eyes just hypnotized him in her body. Well, Naruto was concentrating himself in case he had a nosebleed. He remembered seeing her before, he remembering even having with her. Still he could stare at her body every day, and still he would drool for the girl his heart belonged. Kurenai, what, don't you make yourself comfortable? I'll just take my uniform off and be right back here with you, said Nar, focusing his eyes on her like he could see through her. Okay, Naruto, I will be waiting for you. You wouldn't mind if I take some of my clothes off now, would you, said Kurenai into Naruto's teasing game. Of course not, in fact I would even prefer that you did just that. I'll be right back. For you to say that Kurenai was melting on Naruto's couch would be an understatement. She was feeling like inside of a volcano eruption as a thought came to her. What with all the teasing, I always cursed those Ika series, and now I'm just behaving like one of the main characters. This is not me. I never teased before in my life, but Naruto is a born prankster and he does it so well. I could as well tease him as well. Now turning to think about, he enjoyed being teased, doesn't he? I better not push it though. I don't know what he could do, but then again he was known as Konoha's most unpredictable ninja, so I can't expect less from him. It's just when he teases me I feel like I'm going out of my mind. My hormones jumps like crazy, and the only thing I can imagine is him on top of me, pleasuring me 100%. I better took some of my clothes off, then let's just see how his face will be. I can't wait to see his looks when he sees me on his couch. Oh my god, I'm loving this. I never felt better in all my life. You're really worthy. Await Naruto. When Nar put his robe on his back and went back to his living room, his jaw dropped. He couldn't contain the nosebleed anymore. No one could at this circumstances. In front of him Laker and I's form lying on the couch with the most teasing position he has ever seen before. It was breathtaking, and he just couldn't take his eyes off her lover's hot body. Inside his mind he was thanking Kami or whichever god for doing this. Kurenai was waving for him to come to her and just take advantage of her. Right there she was enjoying the teasing a lot, and the looks of Naruto's face was just what she wanted, the look a man gives when his woman appears before him, wanting him to just start kissing her and massage her entire body. But Naruto would never lose the battle. He was too damn proud of this ability. He took his eyes from her hot body and turned to look at her eyes with such passion and showing a slightly perverted grin with a mixture of deep blue and feral yellow color, stopping her dead on her track. She could feel that she was losing the battle. Naruto was far too strong of a fighter for her. She just couldn't handle herself anymore. When he looked at her with those eyes, she instantly turned to liquid form and was just going to vapor state. Sure she was, but she felt like she was inside a heater and just couldn't hold anymore. Oh my god, I give up. He is the best. What was I thinking, trying to tease him more than he did to me? I can't take it anymore. Just his eyes looking at my own. It's hard to breathe, let alone try to tease him back. He could as well do anything to me. I'm his to have. Please take advantage of me, Nar, please, I beg you. Thought Kurenai, it's less than greater than impossible, but your body is even more beautiful than before. Kurenai, I could just stare at him all day, said Naruto as he approached her, her eyes crossed with his own big mistake. Her heart was pounding like crazy, and what he did then, her eye just lost all the blood she had. When Naruto took off his robe and showed his well-worn six-packed breathtaking body to her, she was fighting like crazy not to pass out from blood loss as he was approaching her face. Then with his hand he picked her chin with 2 fingers and lifted her head up to a position where they would kiss, and they did just that. The kiss that they shared was so passionate that pheromones were licking out of their bodies, setting the perfect mood for the perfect love-making. While kissing her, Naruto just laid down so he could got on top of her, taking his hands and massaging every little place of her back, receiving some soft moan from her beloved one. From Kurenai's part, she was hugging his wide body and feeling his back muscles with hard intensity that her soft arms could muster at him. She was feeling his back and was taken aback by how stronger he had become from his training. Right now she lost all of the dizziness she had when she saw his body, and his hormones took entire control of her mind, letting her thoughts only to be focused on the blonde on top of her, kissing her passionately and rubbing his hands on her body. When they broke the kiss, Kurenai started talking, moaning his name. Oh my god, Nar, you are one hell of a guy. That kiss with you on top of me was just the best thing of my life, and I can't wait to see and feel what you will do to me. I really enjoyed as well. Him right now. Naruto's lips got out of Kurenai's mouth level and started kissing her neck and breathing at them at the same time, earning a deeper moan from Kurenai. After that he started going lower with his tongue on her body, licking her all over and still massaging the other places with his hands. Right now Kurenai was going crazy from the inside. Nar didn't do half of the thing he did the last time, and she was all wet inside when he got down there and started licking. All hell broke and Kurenai closed her eyes, biting her lips so much, wanting to scream his name as a form of waiting to continue and to never stop. Suddenly his finger were inside as well, so Kurenai just couldn't hold anymore. She had to let go. It was just too much for her to handle. Oh my god, oh Nar, I'm coming, I love you so much. Her and I couldn't believe what happened. She didn't need much to come, and this thought alone drove her out of her mind. If by just doing that Nar managed to make me come, what would be like when he gets inside? Back then he was good, but not like he was now. Naruto, you remember what I would do to you if you didn't have any condoms back then, right? So I assume that you'd be prepared and got one first. I do have my him, it's less than greater than right here, see right? Put it on immediately and come here to me. I can't wait anymore. Nar, I want to come harder this time. I want to just pass out from pleasure. I want to pass out with you on top of me. Now come here, I'm begging you. When Naruto showed his instrument, Kurenai moaned like crazy, remembering what she felt back then when he was inside of her, but somehow she was thinking that since his moves were enhanced, this one might have improved as well, and she was trembling in anticipation upon seeing him getting closer and lying on top of her, moaning her name just like she wanted when they met at the West Gate. When Nar got inside of her, her eyes widened. She was right, this move was entirely new and she was enjoying it. She could see experience in his movements, and she could see that Nar got a lot better at making love and making her feel like she was on top of a cloud. Naruto's was perfect for hers since it fit her inner walls like a key through a lock. He managed to fill every part of it, and she was trying to hold out from screaming his name out loud so not to awake his neighbors, but after a while her mind just lost control completely and she gave up to pure ecstasy and scream his name in pure lust. Oh yes, keep going Naruto, it's just so damn good. Oh my god, my him, I can't control myself. Me neither Naruto, me neither. Oh my god. After 10 minutes of hard loving, Naruto couldn't hold anymore as he was trembling all over the place along with his partner, and she was in the same situation as him. They had the same thought in their heads: if we come together it will be the best we ever had. Indeed, about a minute after, their dream came true. Oh my god, Kurenai, I can't take it anymore. I'm coming, I love you so much. I'm coming too, Naruto. Oh my god, this is perfect. It's really as after they were lying together with Naruto facing the ceiling and Kurenai's head at his chest, panning like crazy for the love making. She was enjoying his chest like it belonged to her. All this time her head was comfortable on top of his chest, and she cherished the position they were in. It was warm, comfortable. It was right. After a while turned to ask her lover about Anbu, as in wanting to understand a little more about her lover's ninja career. So tell me Naruto-kun, how is Anbu? Oh, it's intense. Yeah, once you got inside Anbu HQ, either are you training to death or you're doing missions to death. They give me sleeping periods occasionally, but sometimes I have to stay up 2 nights in a row because of a mission. I came to cherish the moments that I can sleep, but I enjoy being of service to Konoha since everything Anbu does is be of service to Konoha. I have to admit though, being Anbu isn't easy. Of course it's not easy, Naruto, but since you're a stamina freak, impossible for normal people is difficult for you. I like that, Kurenai-chan. So how is your team getting along? They are fine. Ka is still a little bit frightened about your killing intent the other day. Hinata and Shino already know who was the Black Mask. They'll be taking the Chunin exams next year. You're still a Chunin, aren't you, Naruto? Still a Chunin. How thoughtful of you, Kurenai-chan. It hurts when you say it like that, said Naruto, earning some giggle from his girlfriend. Sorry about that, Naruto, but even if you're an Anbu, you have to take the test to upgrade to Chunin. Since I'm an Anbu at the moment, my upgrade test is going to be much tougher than a regular test. You see, in my case the score is to be stealthiest and deadly as possible. Depending on my abilities they will upgrade my rank as Chunin Anbu. That doesn't sound too hard. How will the test be? Well, I don't know how this year is going to be. I knew the last one because I was able to witness being held the Chunin hopeful pass through event at the ceiling and has to suppress his chakra so not to alert the chakra signature seals placed near the vent. Once inside, you have to knock 2 enemy ninjas that are guarding the vent without them even knowing you're there. Once taken the 2, the ninja have to dispose of the bodies so not to alarm one enemy that circulate Around the premises now, this one you'll have to pass by, leaving him clueless but not take him down. Once the ninja passed him, he had to get to the lower levels without even a noise, since there was noise sensitive seals on the walls, and if your breathing is heavy enough you're dead. Once you got to the lower level, your target is in the middle of a fake house being guarded by more powerful and experienced shinobis. Since it would be pointless to just face them, you'll have to get inside the house without being noticed by the guards. If you manage to get inside without being noticed, you're as good as a normal Junin, but for Anbu standards you'll have to eliminate the target. Now the target will be apparently alone inside the room, but there will be traps inside. Now that's the tricky part. The last one, they were two enhanced henge undercover Anbus just waiting for you to enter so that they could dispose of the intruder. The Chunin was negligent and didn't notice his surroundings, so he was caught by the Anbus failing his exam. Naruto explained as Kurana was without a breath and her jaw was down to the floor. I can see now why Anbu are tough. This test is no ordinary test. I wondered if I could get past it. And you can forget Genjutsu, because any chakra usage will be alerted by the seals only inside the house. You can use just a little. The purpose of the test is to see if you can do the job without relying on shinobi abilities. It's one hell of a test. I'm looking forward for mine to be held. Mine will be next month. You see, for an Anu to be able to do this test there are a few rules. First, you have to complete a considerable number of silent assassination missions and document retrieval ones. Then you'll have to be able to beat a higher ranked official in a battle, or at least have a battle draw. Since my battle with Hawk, an extremely powerful Anbu and a good friend of mine, the Anbu chief, thought I was ready for the Junin test, so he listed my name for the next one. That's great, Naruto. You'll be a Junin. Ah, I was wondering, Naruto, ever since you told about the exam I was curious about, you would like to attend to my test. Kurana-chan: yes, may I know that Andrew are secretive about everything, but since I'm a Junin as well, I think I can grant access to the test now, wouldn't I? I would love to see you in action, Naruto said. Kurana suddenly ashamed when Naruto started to laugh a little bit. Why are you laughing, Naruto? Stop it, I'm sorry. Kurchin, you don't need to ask for permission. Every Junin in Konoha will watch the exam. Oh, so do you think this exam will be the same as last year's? In essence, yeah, but the details will be tougher this time. They saw my record missions and thought that a standard Anbu test wouldn't be enough to test my skills. Once back in Anbu HQ, my squad was playing a little game of hide and seek. I know, pretty childish, but the arena was full of rocks and places to hide, and the light wasn't much of helping me finding them. Since my new stealth ability of hiding myself from eyesight, I did some clones and each of them found my squad, scaring the shit out of them. It was funny as hell. Now about this ability of yours, how does it work? This ability I learned from my partner Ace the Wolves has a technique that they can focus their chakra on their shadows and they start to exhale an aura that shows like their colors mixed with the night, hiding their shape so that anybody can see them. I did the same thing. I suppose this is an assassination technique then? Yes it is, but can only be done at night. I see, Naruto. I'm getting pretty tired. Let's go to bed so we can rest a bit. When Naruto nodded, he lifted from the couch and carried Kurenai's body like a princess to his bed. It was safe to say that she was already asleep on his arms. Seeing that they were comfortable, then Naruto lied down on the bed and they returned to their sleeping position as both of them were feeling better about themselves just by sleeping together. Next sequence cut. In the morning, Nar got out of bed earlier than Kurenai since he didn't need lots of hours to sleep and started making breakfast for her. Nar, even though a highly skilled military ninja, treated his girlfriend with most care, bringing her breakfast in bed while kissing her on the lips for her to wake up. She was having one hell of a dream with her lover. They were lying on the park just seeing the transparent blue water river in front of them, and Kurenai having trouble figuring if Naruto's eyes were even more beautiful than the water itself, when suddenly Naruto kissed her passionately on the lips. She was in heaven when the smell of eggs and bacon passed through her. She slowly opened her eyes and saw her lover there sitting alongside her with a small table on top of the bed showing a lovely breakfast buffet with eggs, bacon, cinnamon breads, some juice in the coffee and milk. Naruto, you didn't have to do this. All of this smells good. And did you make this? After a nod, she was marveled at the abilities that her boyfriend had. Glad you like it, Kurheim. I made everything you like for breakfast. Thanks again, Naruto. Everything is delicious. After some breakfast, the two of them went for a walk at Konoha streets. The shops were beginning to open and the people were starting to appear at the streets because of the fact that Naruto is now an Anbu. Everyone thought the demon Brad died or went nuke nin. They kept looking at the new couple holding hands and were marveled at the scene. They saw that Naruto and Kurana were perfect for each other. He was a little taller than her, so she was holding her arms, leaning her head on his shoulder. Much to Naruto's amusement, Tsunade was passing along heading for the administration building. When she saw it, she saw Kurenai hugging the arms of a tall blonde guy with deep blue eyes with whisker marks on his face. Wait, whisker marks? Is that Nar? My god, he looks like his father so much. I haven't seen his face in a long time, and now he's all grown up and with beautiful and experienced looks. God, if I were half my age I would want some of that piece of meat. What I'm thinking, it's Naruto, for cry out loud, and it seems that Kurana already nailed him. They look so great together, you can't even see the age difference. You're really something, Nar. After a while, Nar noticed one of his comrades hiding inside the alley and informed him that he is to present to Anbu HQ in 2 hours for a meeting with Hawk. After he nodded for the shadow, she disappeared. Once they returned Naruto's home, they began to talk on Naruto. I'm really glad we got back together. I'm glad as well. Red Rose, I missed you a lot. I missed you too. Oh my god, I am late. I promised my team I would arrive a little early for some practice. It's less than greater than okay. I have to go to Anbu HQ as well. I would like to take you to dinner tomorrow. Kuren-chan, how is that sound? Of course I accept, Narukun. In case neither of us has a mission, pick me up tomorrow at 9 o'clock at my place. It's less than greater than settled then, and choose the place you want to go. Okay then, see you Nukun. See you Kurenai-chan. Love you. After their goodbyes they got separated and went for their duties, when suddenly both of them turned and looked at each other, smiling at each other, showing that their future will be as bright as ever.